Over there and over here at Spoonie talk about Atrantil for bloating. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
You're exactly right. The polyphenols are those molecules that we find in the Mediterranean diet. It makes vegetables and fruits very colorful. What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can actually stop inflammation. They can help you have more energy. They can help you with anti-aging. And polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Tell me how everybody should be taking Atrantil.
If you want to dose Atrantil, it's 2 capsules 3 times a day, basically with your meals. But if you aren't bloated and you just want that polyphenol intake every day, 2 to 3 capsules a day will work for you.
Go to lovemytummy.com/mojo.
Mojo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty Mojo 50.
Well, he did an amazing job, I would say. People are going to be left wondering how in the world Shankar Lahiri did it. Probably should explain who Shankar Lahiri is. From a young child, Shankar Lahiri wanted to be a magic man, magician. He's also known as Mandrake in his home country of, I believe it's India. He is Indian after all. He wanted to essentially be Harry Houdini. He wanted to recreate one of Harry Houdini's most impressive escapes. Because in addition, of course, to being a fabulous magician, Harry Houdini was an escape artist, probably the best of his day. So on Sunday, Shankar Lahiri was he was on the bridge. It was a bridge over the Hooghly River in West Bengal State. He had a crowd of people. People gathered from miles around to see him shackled with 6 locks and a chain. Spectators on 2 different boats watched him from the river, from down below, some on the bridge, some in the river. They gathered on the shore. Some stood on the bridge next to him. It was going to be an amazing spectacle. By the way, this is in the near the Kolkata, which is formerly Calcutta. Police, team of divers stood by. Shankar Lahiri gets shackled. They lock everything up. They put him in the box and boom, into the river. Spoosh. Splashes go up everywhere. That was the last time they saw Shankar Lahiri. That was yesterday. That was Sunday. He has still not surfaced. So this is either the most incredible trick, the most amazing feat of prestidigitation and escapology, or he's dead.
Or the aliens took him.
Or quite possibly he was beamed up to the Starship Enterprise. But you know what they say, leave him wanting more, and that's what Shankar Lahiri did. So if he's in fact passed along to the great beyond, well, then he succeeded. He left him wanting more. And forever, people will wonder, how in the world did he do that? How did he just disappear? Of course, this is barring any discovery of his dead body coming up on the shores of the river anytime soon. But if you are familiar with those rivers in India, good luck. Number one, you cannot see your hand a foot in front of your face inside them. And number two, I think there's crocodiles, aren't there? There's something over there. I wouldn't jump in these rivers.
Something ate him.
Yeah, he's pretty incredible, pretty amazing. He deserves some kudos for that one. And in an interview, Haventa Shah, he's a photographer with a local newspaper there. He witnessed Mr. Lahiri attempting the trick, told BBC, spoke to him before the magician started his act. He says, I asked him why he risked his life for magic. And Mr. Lahiri, smiled and said, if I do it right, it's magic. If I make a mistake, it becomes tragic. See, that rhymed, so that's a good thing. The magician told him he wanted to do the trick in order to revive interest in magic. Well, see, that's the problem. Technically, that's not magic. That's escapology, a completely different thing. It's not the first time Mr. Lahiri attempted a risky underwater trick. He gets no trick, gets an escape. He was lowered into the same river inside a glass box more than 20 years ago, but managed to escape to safety. The reporter also witnessed that one. Apparently, he did that one right because he came back to do this one, but apparently didn't go so well. Have you ever seen, what was it? It was on, I think it was on a magic special, the guy who was buried in the box in Ohio?
Isn't that where the box caved in on him?
Yes.
Yes.
Boy, that was freaky.
Yeah, it was.
They did not in their equation for building the plexiglass box, they didn't take into account, because the idea was he was going to get into this plexiglass box. He was shackled, and they were going to not just cover him with dirt, but cover him with concrete. But you see, concrete weighs more than dirt.
Yes, it does.
So in their calculations, they forgot to factor that in, and as soon as they started pouring the concrete on the box, it collapsed.
And he didn't have a breathing apparatus, did
nope,
he?
He sure didn't, which makes it difficult to breathe. So, and then, of course, it was part of another special because they redid that one, and the guy that redid it, they made it look like it was collapsing in on him, and he of course, surfaced some several feet away. But, yeah, it's always interesting when these guys think they can pull off some of this stuff, because a lot of people have no idea how Houdini did his tricks. His escapes.
No, and poor planning, actually.
You know what they say?
What is it? Piss poor
planning prevents proper
it's the 5 Ps.
Yeah, if I had prepared for this, I would have known it. See, but there you go. That's it in action, and that so old Mr. Shankar Lahiri is either in the great hereafter, he's either somewhere hiding, or right now Houdini's going, okay, so here's what you did wrong. This is what you did wrong.
Yep.
And next time, I think you should probably do something a little bit different.
He's being coached.
Yeah. A little late. I think they might have done a little more research on that.
They'll find him miles down the road.
Mm-hmm. Or possibly a crocodile ate his head before he even started. Okay, so do you remember where you were?
Right now, I don't see.
Oh, I absolutely remember what I was doing.
Real radical
when this was happening.
Right now, there's nobody in danger as we watch this.
Do you believe that people are being
This is from a YouTube video of a shot all those years ago, 25 years ago.
That's the white Bronco, baby.
On KABC television.
Ron, I was saying, do you think
standard definition television at the time?
Because I'm astonished at the light level
But
of
boy, let me tell you, this was the weirdest thing. I remember sitting in the control room of the radio station I was working at in Nashville, Tennessee.
Looking all the way westbound.
I think that's where
It was a slow speed chase, right?
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, he AJ Cowling. I can't remember. I can't believe I remember his name. AJ Cowlings was the guy driving the Bronco, and OJ was in the back seat, or I guess the back of the Bronco.
Didn't he hold a gun to his head?
Yeah,
or something?
yeah, that's what they said. Is he was driving along that he was back there with his gun pointed at his head, and which of course that's what every innocent guy does. If they've not done anything, you just jump in the back of a friend's Bronco and they drive you down the freeways of LA, escaping from nothing. But for hours, how long did this thing happen? I mean, it was a couple of hours.
It was a couple of hours, easy. Yeah.
Which was just really weird. I mean, I don't know who knows what in the world was going through his head at that point. But this changed. Well, this was like the pivotal moment in society. It just, wow, this was just such a weird time. It's hard to believe 25 years ago that this happened. 25 years ago, O.J. Simpson was chased. He was eventually turned himself in, I guess. And then, of course, he was found innocent. Now, this, again, was against the backdrop of L.A. at the time. It had just gone through the Rodney King situation, so it was fragile to begin with. And I think that's the primary reason that they didn't that they hadn't, that they didn't find him guilty. Because, I mean, can you imagine if they had found O.J. guilty?
Oh, the uprising?
Oh,
please.
that town.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, after the Rodney King thing, we drove through an area of that. It was a year, maybe a year after that happened, and there were still burned out buildings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which was weird because the people who rioted in their own neighborhoods.
Yes, they did.
Which was really odd. It's like, if you're going to do that, why didn't you go to Bel Air and burn down the stores in Bel Air? I didn't understand why they were burning down
Let's just burn down our own neighborhood. Who was the guy they yanked out of the truck?
That
Somebody
guy.
will let us know.
Yeah,
but I watched that part on TV. They yanked him out of that 18-wheeler
what
cab.
was his name? If you hadn't asked me, I could have
Beat
told
the
you.
hell out of him.
He was my friend at the time. My friend Dodd. He owned a motorcycle shop in Newhall, California, which is right up the street from. That's where they like Magic Mountain is. It's where they shoot a lot of stuff. It's where they shot Deadwood up there in Santa Clarita. And what was that guy's name? That's going to drive me crazy. Anyway, he used to come into his shop all the time because he rode motorcycles. And he came in after the beating, and my friend said to me, he just looked like crap. He just looked horrible. I mean, and that was, talk about unprovoked. That was a strange
He just happened
time.
to be driving through there.
Yeah, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time and became part of history. What was his name? Come on, Jack Holes, you can come up with this. Mojo Jedi just tweeted, smacking duck as usual. Didn't care now, doesn't care. Didn't care then, doesn't care now.
He said hashtag OJ, who cares?
Mm-hmm. Mojo Jedi, yeah, well, at least he's living up to his standards. Mojo Jedi using hashtag what I learned today. And by the way, Reginald Denny.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you, Deuce 5.
Yeah.
Mojo Jedi, 25 years later, the Bronco is now brought back to the mark. They should have OJ as the spokesman. Broncos now brought.
Wouldn't that have been ironic to see the first new Bronco commercial with OJ doing it?
Now, would they have sold more, or would people have boycotted?
I don't know. That would have been the headline news for the next 3 days.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Well, and Stinky says no, found not guilty, not innocent.
That's correct. He was found not criminally guilty, but he was found civilly
in the civil
guilty.
suit. Yeah, and he still owes the Goldman family millions of dollars, which they and they know they'll never see it.
All right, so I have something for you as far as O.J. Simpson goes, real quick. Have you ever mowed a yard? Okay, yes, you probably have. But here's the thing. Have you ever mowed a yard wearing gloves in summer, leather gloves? I did, and it was about 5 years after this came out that happened to me. And I went to put my gloves on the next time I mowed my yard after they had been wet with sweat.
Right.
Couldn't get them on.
Yeah, they shrink.
They shrink.
Yeah, leather shrinks.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Which was brilliant.
That was brilliant.
Brilliant on the part of Johnny Cochran.
God, dog.
First of all, how many people in this country have ever, I mean, it's going to be a small percentage, I would say, of people who have worn leather gloves.
Or who have ever tried to put them back on after they've been soaking wet.
Well, it's the same thing with shoes. You try to get leather shoes wet, and they tighten up.
That's
right.
right.
Anything that's leather, it draws up. That's why they used to, when they would, was it drawn and quartered people? Remember, they'd lay them on the ground, and they'd tie their leather straps to their hands and their legs.
I can't believe Marcia Clark didn't think about that.
I think that they...
Because, quite honestly, that threw doubt into the jury.
Yeah, it did. And the problem with the prosecution was, it was, first of all, that's what you get when you get the when you get your state-led prosecution. That team was just lost. They were outgunned.
They were absolutely lost.
They were totally outgunned. Now the
what was that doofus's name? The cop, Mark Furman.
Mark Furman. I don't know if he was a doofus.
He was an arrogant punk.
Well, yeah. He's a commentator for, I think, Fox News.
He is now, yeah.
And then the two other detectives, I think they wrote a book, and I think I read somewhere one of them's dead now. The other is I think retired, but I think they kind of lost their careers after that. It was a total mess. I mean, the Cato Kalin thing, it turned into a zoo.
Yeah, it did.
And I don't think there's any doubt in people's mind. Well, I guess there are some, but, what
I
actually
can't believe
happened.
it was 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's just blows me away. Time flies so quickly. Jack Hole Angry Beaver tweeted he should not have tried that in a house. He should not have tried that with a mouse. He should not have tried that out there. He should not have tried that anywhere. Referring to the magician. Yeah.
We went to California, I don't know, several years after that, and of course drove over by the apartments off of Beller? No.
Yeah, where did they live?
Brentwood.
Yes,
Brentwood.
It was tragic events, but I mean, it was he was jealous. Jealousy will make you do strange things. I'm not suggesting it's justified. I'm just saying it'll make you do strange things. Speaking of strange things, the second hour today, we are filling in for Chris Salcedo over on Newsmax. This ought to be interesting.
Yeah, we've got to make a few adjustments, folks. So the second hour, you'll hear some things that you don't normally hear.
Yep.
If you're listening on radio or watching on...
It's the reason I wore pants.
And Brad doesn't wear pants very often.
Pants. When Brad puts on pants, it's a special day. It's either Thanksgiving or filling in on Newsmax. Chris Salcedo is taking a week off, and for some strange reason, he thought we would do a good job. Well, here's the thing. When we're done at the end of this week,
he's sweating it right now.
What he's thinking is we will make him look brilliant. Brilliant by comparison.
That's right. It was an easy choice for Chris at that point. No, the guys at Newsmax TV are sweating it right now because I'm connected to them. They're watching.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Suckers. That's what Rick Dees would, when he was at Kiss FM out in L.A., and he would take a week off. He would always, the guys that he would choose to do his show, it's like, whoa, they're just not very good. It's like, huh. Then when he came back, it was like, oh, I'm glad he's back.
It's going to be fun. They're texting me. It's all good. Salcedo never wears pants.
See? We're going to...
This is brilliant.
I don't know if there's any classing it up or not, but we'll find out. So, yeah, for the regular Jack Hole Nation, you'll get kind of a behind the scenes, because when they go to break, we won't be in break, and that's when we take off our shirts and dance around the table. And it's kind of like musical chairs. It's the last one to get their shirt on and sit back down loses.
It's kind of scary.
It'll be interesting. I guess is that why somebody hid the nipple? I don't know why this is over here.
Actually, no, that was hidden this weekend when we had the female football team in.
Well, we didn't want the women to see a nipple?
Well, I don't know. It was the show host made that call.
Okay.
Dude, this is a female tackle football team.
Okay, they don't have nipples?
Oh, they do.
That's all right. Strange choice, but all right. Let's see what else is happening. Oh, the weird stuff out at Costco in L.A. That was L.A., wasn't it? Where the Costco, the cop. So it was Friday night inside a Costco in Corona, the Inland Empire out in California. So apparently there was a cop there he was off duty. He's in Costco. He's in the frozen food section. He's got his kid in his arms. 32-year-old cop, Kenneth French is his name. And some other guy, apparently, allegedly anyway, attacked him unprovoked.
While he was holding his kid.
While he was holding the kid. And
that's a special kind of stupid.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't.
Wow.
Now, of course, the other side is saying, well, he's a gentle giant and all that. But LA Police Commission President Steve Soboroff said yesterday it'll be up to the LAPD Chief Michael Moore whether to put the unidentified officer on leave. But after he was allegedly attacked by this other guy, he pulled out his weapon and shot the guy several times. They don't know what led to the altercation. They have no idea. They just said he assaulted him without provocation in Corona. The other guy, Kenneth French was the attacker, the alleged attacker, not the cop. According to a preliminary investigation, the officer fired his weapon 6 times after French allegedly assaulted him without provocation as the officer held his child. This according to Corona police. He was the only person killed in the incident, and the officer's gun the only weapon involved. Because originally they had reports that somebody shot, somebody fired a gun, that this other guy fired a gun, and that the cop was responding in kind.
I'll tell you what, Brad, if you want someone to lose their mind and lose all sense of what's right and wrong, do something while they're holding their child.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you will do anything to protect your kids. That's
What
bottom
in the
line.
hell?
I don't know. Initial reports, again, suggested that French had opened fire inside the store, but police now clarified the only gun that was involved in the incident to belong to the off-duty cop. And it was, again, they say it's up to the police superintendent to decide whether this guy's going to go on administrative leave or not.
And it depends on the age of the child as to whether this is going to have lifelong consequences.
I can't
Traumatized?
imagine. I can't imagine. They
Wow.
said there were two other members of French's family there too. They say that they were also injured. But just strange stuff happening. Almost as well. I was going to say almost as strange, but this is what they're lucky nobody was hurt in Target.
Oh my God!
This was the scene
On
at
Saturday?
Target in Saturday. Now look at all those people. I mean, there's dozens of people standing in line, and it lasted for 2 hours.
And it was Target wide.
Yeah, across the country.
It happened to us there in the little town where we live. My wife said that there were people standing at the front door that said, you know, if you're here to pick up something you ordered online that you've already paid for,
Right.
fine. But we can't sell you a thing from this store right now.
Yeah, they've got some system on their cash registers that just shut down. It just stopped working for some reason, and they don't know why.
I'm going to tell you, some IT guy decided to do an update Saturday morning.
You think that's what it was?
And it freaking went haywire.
This is the image of all of the hold orders that they had. So people, see what I would have done if this had happened, and after about the 10-minute mark of the registers being down, I don't care how much stuff I had in my basket, I would just walk out.
Hell no, Walmart's right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's just why would anyone stand there for 2 hours? I mean, how? Well, you don't understand. We got
That dude's Twitter handle is brilliant.
Yeah, that's true. It's at Dogfluff, and his name is This Month I'm Extra Gay. All right. Hey.
Sorry, I just saw
It's
that.
a free country. I'm extra gay. Now with sprinkles. I don't know. I mean, would you stand there for that long?
Nope. Not at all. I hate to
would
be in the damn store as it is. I would not have waited. I would have said, oh, you're down? Okay, see ya.
Yeah, I don't understand why people stuck around that
There's
long.
nothing you've got that's more spectacular than what I can go down the street and pick up somewhere else.
Right.
Sorry about you.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me at all. I mean, there's other things I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Target, but
well, you know, Sunday was a bad day for them also. Did you know that?
and what happened on Sunday?
All of their card swipes went down. And they said,
did they really?
Yeah, they sure did. It was just a bad weekend overall for
Wow.
Target. All their card swipes went down because that was a provider issue, they said.
Wow, that's
It wouldn't surprise me for that to have been a provider issue caused by the issues on Saturday.
and then
That's my background, by the way. That's where I come from.
could no one just pay cash?
Exactly.
Nobody has cash anymore. Think about how little. I mean,
And they probably could have paid cash on Sunday.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that the amazing
But
thing
very
is,
few
yeah,
people do.
right? I
In
mean,
the
yeah.
overall.
Think of how little of the money you earn in your lifetime you ever touch.
Right.
It's all stuck on that little plastic card. So there is a little preview of the apocalypse. That's what it's going to look like when
The internet goes down. When they shut the internet down, that's what happens.
That is what everybody's in a fetal position. And actually, you know, if the lights and everything had shut off there, it would have been amazing to see the. Who knows if the looting would have started? I mean, it would have been nuts. But that's what's going to happen when the world ends. In between now and then, if you don't want to be bloated at world's end, make sure that you stop by lovemytummy.com/mojo and find out about Atrantil and about how it can help you in the abdominal discomfort zone. Because that is not natural. Having bloating or abdominal discomfort, not natural. And gut health, we're going to find out someday, it's my firm belief, that the gut biodome holds the mysteries to extraterrestrial life, and cancer, and everything else. We're gonna discover one day UFOs actually come from your intestines. I'm telling you, every day and every
That's
week.
a little scary.
It is scary, but every week they're finding out something new. Autism, anxiety, everything seems to be connected to your gut and the bacteria there. So go to lovemytummy.com/mojo and save some money. Get us some credit as well and find out if you can stop the bloating and the discomfort. We'll see if we can continue on with it here in just a second. This, of course, is your Daily Mojo.
Happily promoting the 4 F's: freedom, faith, free markets, and fun. Mojo 50.
If there was one theme of the Donald Trump presidential run in 2016, it was law and order. Since then, Trump has attempted to walk the line of criminal justice reform and law and order. He signed criminal justice reform after a visit to the White House from Kim Kardashian and then later Kanye West. That was seen as a nearly universal positive step, especially with the so-called nonviolent drug offenders being set free. But what does the research tell us about all of those offenders and criminals in prison alone? Well, the Bureau of Justice Statistics aren't very kind to Kardashian, the media, and Trump's position here. First off, a full 83% of state prisoners will be rearrested within 9 years of release. 9 years? But Andrew, that's a long-ass time. True, but did you know that 68% of released state prisoners were arrested within 3 years and 79% within 6? That's certainly not something Kardashian will tell you. Furthermore, those so-called nonviolent drug offenders, they were rearrested for a non-drug crime at a rate of 77% within the same 9-year time frame. But here's the real kick in the pants to Kardashian and her ilk. 34% of those nonviolent drug offenders wind up committing a violent crime within 9 years. Finally, this narrative that we're convicting too many people to prison is just a fallacy. African-American men in prison have fallen by a third, while African-American women in prison have dropped 57% to a 30-year low, according to the 2017 numbers prior to Trump's reform. The incarceration rate of 860 people per 100,000 in 2017 was the lowest since 1996 as well. All of this tells me that we have a problem with recidivism. Solving that issue is the most important thing that we can do if you want real criminal justice reform. I'm Andrew Coppins, and this has been By the Numbers. You can follow me on the socials at The Coppins Show.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by Patriot Mobile, America's only conservative cell phone company offering super reliable nationwide service, donating a portion of their profits to organizations fighting for our conservative values. Call 1-800-A-PATRIOT or visit patriotmobile.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Larky up in Farkin brought up a very good point on Twitter using the hashtag What I Learned Today. Make sure you get yours in as well when you name your store Target. What do you expect? Didn't they close all their stores in Canada?
I don't know.
I think they did.
For what reason?
I don't. Well, it's no, not too long ago we ran down the list of all the stores that were closing in 2019, and like Target was closing a bunch, and
wow.
And Dress Barn, I think they're closing all of their stores, which I never understood that name anyway. It sounds like you're dressing like a cow. Doesn't it sound like
which is not a good thing.
No. I mean, in this day and age.
If you put the word dress and barn in the same.
Yeah, it sounds either like you're dressing like a goat or a cow, but when that store started back in the 60s, a barn was like slang of the day for a place where you get a bargain. Now it just sounds like a place where you keep your donkey. Doesn't it?
Or your ass.
Or your ass.
It's okay.
There you go. Let's see. Brad Staggs flannel jacket. No, at Real Brad Staggs never been good at segues. What, bloating? And I think that bloating is just... You try working bloating into a sentence. Think you can do it? Get your butt in here. And feline jackhole, extraterrestrials in your digestive tract. Does that mean that there's alien life in your anus? Hell. We're just getting all those out of the way before we start.
Before we do real TV.
So before we start with Newsmax at the top. Boy, are they going to be sorry. They're going to be so sorry. That's another one from Brad Staggs Flannels. I pay $120 a year to not get shot at Costco versus the $60 gunshot route. Yeah, see, that's you got to read the fine print in the membership contract. Eddie Martin says, Edna Martin says that she still enjoys a happy sex life with her husband, Simon.
Oh, I saw the story.
They spend their evenings cuddling on the sofa like a couple of kids. They got married 14 years ago when she fell in love with his impressive organ skills.
I'm sorry, what?
His organ skill. He plays the organ.
Oh, he plays. Okay.
What'd you think I meant?
I don't know.
Cynic said the great-grandmother was looking for a naive boy toy, but they're as happy as ever.
She found one.
She found a boy toy. Simon is 44 and Edna is 83 years old. She said, we're still intimate in the bedroom as much as any couple in love.
I kiss Simon's neck and pinch his bum in the supermarket.
She's 84 years old. There's a good picture of the two of them right there. If you're watching over on Mojo 50 TV, are we on Facebook? You know what? She
hey, if you got it, you know.
I mean, don't you want to know what the
I should not be laughing.
Nah, because you're going to get there one day. Well, maybe. At your rate, maybe not.
I don't know. Anna Nicole Smith worked it out.
I think there was a slightly different motive there, but
maybe.
I don't know if Simon or Edna have money, but they're certainly happy in their love life. In addition to kissing, they have they've now renewed their wedding vows at their home. In 2015, they developed the pet names Piglet and Piglet. Aw.
Piglet and Piglet.
Piglet. That's French, I think. Simon is an organist. He's regarded as a musical genius in local circles. He continues to charm Edna playing her favorite song, Good Night, Sweetheart, on the organ. Every now and then you just have to play.
I have a question that's on everybody's mind right now. Mm-hmm. Does Edna have a lot of money?
Well, I don't know. Maybe Simon has a lot of money. We don't know. Maybe, why can't it just be love? Why can't the two of them just be in love? Why do we have to assume that for whatever reason, the two of them
just asking the question?
I don't know. Well, you never know. By the way, I forgot to mention the gun box. The gun box, of course, is where thegunbox.com is where you will find the gun box. And here's something weird. I went to the gun box and I went just because I like to put one in the put one in the cart, as they say, and they go through the checkout process to watch the money that comes off when you enter the promo code Mojo50. And if you try to go and buy the Echo, they are sold out.
I heard that last week that they were sold out on the Echo.
So
that's the lower end one, anyways.
Well, no, it's not the lower end; it's just the smaller one.
It's the smaller one. Get the Echo 2. I mean the
2.0.
2.0. Yeah, that one's the nice one.
Well, so's the Echo. It's just smaller. You can travel with. If you travel, the Echo's a great idea.
But does the Echo do all the same stuff?
Yeah,
that the 2.0 does.
I think so. I don't know why it wouldn't. The Echo it's TSA approved.
Well, now the Echo for carry, like for personal carry guns, the smaller handguns.
Yeah, you can take it with you when you travel, or if right now if you want to get the 2.0, you can get that at thegunbox.com. If you use promo code Mojo50, you get 10% off. And it just always, when I look at that it starts at $299, you get like a $30 discount with Mojo50. And then don't forget to sign up for the alerts, so that when you are on the road traveling and you have this gun box at your house, you will get an alert if somebody touches it, bumps it, looks at it wrong, any of that. So you will know somebody's in your home and messing with your stuff.
And I'll tell you, guys, a lot of people are concerned about the price of these things, but I'm going to tell you something. When you buy quality,
who's concerned about that?
You get quality. And that's what these things are, guys. We have one in the studio. We've all played with it. And it is,
and we've messed with the gun box too.
And we've messed, but it's a really quality piece of hardware. It really is. And I've got an inexpensive gun box at home. I'm afraid I have to actually put it in the closet up high because I don't want the kids messing with it. I'm
Well, then
afraid
it
they might get into it.
Doesn't do much good then, does it? If it's up
It
in the closet
doesn't.
high. So
It does not. But this you can sit on your nightstand.
you should get yourself a gun box.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in television. Look at all the money you make.
I need to.
Look at all the money you make. You could be sitting on. You got.
I was hoping one would show up for Father's Day, but that's another discussion.
Just another disappointing Father's Day at the.
I got some new tennis shoes.
Phillips house. Well, that's you can keep your gun in. Did you just try to show me your shoes?
I did, and I can't get my leg that high.
Let's get it all out of our system in the next 20 minutes. Get it all out there. I can't remember if I shared this email on the air or not. From Pickled Squirrel, from Casey, I believe. Hi, guys. I wanted to share something with our Daily Mojo family. Doc and Skip led me to this point right now where I look in a man's eyes while he's on one knee with a ring in his hand, utterly speechless, saying yes a million times yes. If it weren't for Doc and Skip and some Twitter groups for fans of the show, I would not have met the man of my dreams, Zippy the Jackhole Monkey. Only in America could the Pickled Squirrel and the Zippy the Jackhole Monkey. The show started as a common interest, but with Doc's passing, I began to look at things a bit differently, as we all did. We spent our first Valentine's Day together on a road trip to Geneva on the Lake. It was bittersweet, but I will keep this on a happier note today. Little did I know at the viewing when Opelka and Mrs. Stuntbrain referred to me as Mrs. Zippy, get it, Mrs. Zippy, that it would be more than just a cute moment. We even have matching cowbells. Wow, is this a great country or what?
Yeah.
I never thought I would fall for a man living almost 2,000 miles away in Texas, and it all started with a morning radio show. With all the excitement about starting a new life with my own jackhole, I am feeling so blessed and very grateful for Doc and for the whole Mojo family for being such a great part and a big part of bringing us together. Thanks for letting me share and give Zippy a shout-out of all of the love in the world for me, please. I love you guys. Keep up the good work. Casey, P.S. Added a picture of me and of us and Frank in PA too.
So does that make them a Zippy Pickle?
Or a Pickled Zippy, which, by the way, you know what a Pickled Zippy is, don't you?
I do not.
$20, same as downtown.
Oh, my God.
Hey-oh, I can't believe you.
I fell for it.
You did. You did. It is getting bigger every day. Huge. It is huge. It is larger than the Taj Mahal. This being the giant pile of garbage in India. It is set to overtake the Taj Mahal in size over the next 12 months. It is India's Mount Everest of trash. It measures 213 feet in height. Officials said it will need to have warning lights installed to stop aircraft from colliding. You know, the red blinking lights. How high do you have to be to get those lights? You know, because they put them on cranes.
400, 500 feet.
Is that what it is here?
I think so.
Well, no, I mean, there's
cranes. I think anything that sticks up above the ground a good distance has to have some kind of light on it.
Well, this apparently sticks up the ground a good distance. The Gazipur landfill first opened back in 1984. It hit capacity in 2002. 21 million people in New Delhi dumped their stuff apparently in this landfill. 2,000 tons of garbage is dumped there each day. That's amazing. If it's taller than the
so they don't take their garbage out to the middle of the ocean somewhere and dump it.
No.
Wow.
But this thing is so big that it has landslides.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
It killed 2 people.
They'll be freaking snow skiing off of it.
Wow. The U.S. EPA conducted a report into the site. Why are we conducting a report into India's trash? Waste disposal practices are not well controlled, which has led to the formation of steep and unstable slopes. That is a lot of trash.
Look at those people standing on the edge of that thing.
That
Holy
gives
cow.
you an idea. You know what? I bet there's some good dumpster diving in there. Think of the stuff that could be...
only you, brother.
At a 2,000 pounds a day, you know there's got to be some good stuff. I mean, it can't all be just junk, right? I mean, there's got to be something in there.
It looks like compost to me.
Well, yeah, after a while, it just all kind of blends
it's like
together.
They crush it or something.
But, yeah, I mean, can you imagine that? Because you probably have broken glass and everything else in there. I wouldn't want to just falling down in that. You're asking for a bad infection. But, and here's the thing. You look at this. And then tell me that this country, that the United States of America, that's what makes me so angry when I hear, we're just, we're dirty. We're going to clean up our act. And we are so incredibly clean.
What is the caption on that?
A rag picker searches for recyclable materials.
A rag picker. Him and every other wildlife.
We may just have cussed in India. You dirty little rag picker. I don't know. I guess a rag picker is just somebody who jumps out there. A lot of people say that they can't even open the windows without vomiting. That's how bad the smell is. But again, you look at what the rest of the world.
Driving by a dairy farm here.
Oh, it's driving by the Great Salt Lake in Utah.
Oh, it smells?
Oh,
no kidding.
Oh, the Great Salt Lake is just it's beautiful from the air. When you fly over it and you look down, it's just this big, just really pretty. But you get close to that thing within a half mile, it smells like an outhouse. Oh, it's horrible. And it's because it is so, the salinity in it is so high that nothing lives there except brine shrimp, brine flies, and it smells to high heaven.
Wow.
It is awful. So, but again, this country, we have cleaned up, and things are so clean in this country that it makes me insane when people are, we've got to tighten our policies and tighten our rules because, we can't pollute. Every other country in the world just about is so much dirtier than this one. This is a clean country. I don't care what you say. The president is ready to repaint Air Force One. They're saying that he is trying to make it look like his plane, his personal plane. And I don't.
His personal plane is kind of drab. I mean, it's.
Yeah, it is. Let me.
What is that a picture of? Is that's current?
That is.
Yeah, that's current.
I'm going to show you the Trump plane. Okay, so that right there is the. That's the current the current Air Force One,
which is a nice looking.
It's plane. It's white on top. It's got the blue
If you ever see
stripe.
that thing in person, it's pretty impressive.
Oh, it's a beautiful plane. It's kind of silver, natural silver, I guess, aluminum, whatever the metal is that it's made out of on the bottom. The Trump plane is blue on top, and then got a red stripe, and it's white on the bottom. And then the design that they say the president has given to, I believe it's the Air Force, is kind of the same. Well, it's actually a mirror of the existing Trump plane. So you got Trump, the existing.
It's actually a reverse mirror, it looks like. Yeah. White on the top.
Yep.
Dark on the bottom.
And here's the thing that of course, they cannot give the president credit for anything in the media. This is the design, and the rebuilding apparently is going to save like a 1.3, is it billion or million? It's a lot of money.
I would think it's billion.
Yeah, it is billion.
I think they need to make the front of that aircraft a big eagle's head.
That would be cool. That would be very cool. The president says he got $1.6 billion in savings off of the price of the project. The Air Force says the Trump negotiations with Boeing yielded only 1.4.
Oh,
he's lying. It's not 1.6. Impeach him.
Let's see, 200,000 versus. Oh no, it's 1.2. That'd be 200 million.
Yeah,
200 million versus. Okay,
I know they can't give this guy. They to give him any credit for anything it's not in their nature. They can't do it. The Air Force, of course, responsible for the $5.3 billion program for Boeing to build 2 new presidential planes. Wow. Now, it doesn't. Now, the design, of course, the critics are saying, well, he's just making it look like here's the Trump Air Force, the Trump plane, and this has to go, of course, through.
That's Trump Force One.
Trump Force, yeah. And technically, any plane the president is in, any aircraft that he's in is Air Force One.
That's correct. So, any plane he's in becomes Air Force One. And here's the thing. What I find ironic about those photos of the new design is that in the current plane design, the way it's done now is it's kind of got that silvery reflective bottom.
Yeah.
which makes it difficult to see if you're underneath it on the ground, right?
Right.
Which I would think would be a safety precaution.
Yeah.
But now they're trying to make it dark on the bottom?
Yeah, but
then again, this plane supposedly has all kinds of countermeasures
yeah, I
built
was going
into
to say
it. So
it's got all kinds of secret stuff. It probably has a cloaking device on it. It can probably become invisible. There's all kinds of things. Oh, which reminds me, I cannot believe that I almost forgot to do this. Shame, shame, shame on me. I have to push this, and there.
You are now entering Odyssey Station. Please remain seated until docking is complete. Odyssey, dare to wonder.
And of course, Odyssey1.com is our sister network. This is right up Odyssey One's alley, so to speak. A mysterious white UFO has been filmed hovering over Area 51.
I saw that kid's video. This is kind of cool.
Isn't it weird? I mean, it's well. First of all, the real story here is the fact that there is
there's activity
at
Area 51. Yeah.
That because I guess the Air Force has been, or the government in general has been claiming that they have shut down Area 51. But there is apparently a large, and in this video, if you are and again, everybody has a cell phone, everybody has a camera now, and everything that we get is now still shaky. But there's a brand new, apparently they say that there's a brand new hangar out there that is some 200 feet long, 150 feet wide, and a couple of 100 feet tall. And I think that the little object, there's an object that appears to be floating in the sky there, kind of in the middle of the frame, that could be, and again, it's just unidentified, doesn't say anything about it being extraterrestrial, because over Air Force, or over Area 51, that's where they test government aircraft. I had a friend who worked at Area 51.
I guarantee you this dude's probably 5 miles away from that place, if not more.
He's at Tikaboo Peak, which is, it's...
because he's zoomed in as far as he can go. That's why it's all blurry. But the fact is that there is activity at this base that's supposedly shut down.
Well, we all know that there was a few years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago by now, they claimed that they had moved Area 51, I think, to Utah. Remember that? Was it Utah or New Mexico? It was somewhere
I don't remember, but where is Area 50? Groom Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is. It's still there. I don't think they ever moved it. There are so many interesting stories out of Area 51 that I had a friend who worked there for years, and every Monday he'd get on a plane, and it was
with
a plane,
blacked out windows.
Yep. Fly up there and fly back on Friday. Yep. Same blacked out windows. And some of the stories that have come out of Area 51 are just crazy.
I think I've told this story before, but I had a shop chief when I was in the Air Force who used to work at Area 51. He couldn't really say that's where he worked.
Right.
But he indicated it, so we knew that. But he had a plaque hanging on his wall that was just a small flag, and the plaque underneath it said, commemorating a significant event, October 1982. And you know what it was?
What was it?
That was the first flight of the B-2 bomber before we ever knew about it many years later.
Contact.
Yeah, the one with the wing, the one that looks like the wing.
Oh yeah, the giant wing.
Yeah.
Well, they had that, and that's the stealth bomber.
The stealth bomber. Mm-hmm.
And then they had the stealth fighter too.
That's correct.
Wing.
Yeah.
And both of those planes, when they landed them on the ground, leaked. It was because the tolerances had to be so loose because they flew and they got so hot. The bodies got so hot when they flew that they tightened up. But
they tightened up. Yeah.
Yeah. They had to it was like putting a piece of cardboard under an old clunker in your driveway so you didn't stain the concrete.
And I'm sure we've got listeners that have either worked at Groom Lake or knew someone who did. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not such a secret anymore, and it wouldn't surprise me right now to know that there are other secret bases out there that we either don't know about or
is the video that this guy just shot, is it actually a distraction? Is this not a better demonstration of Houdini's distraction skills than the guy who just jumped off the bridge over in India? Maybe that's what this was all about. We're all staring at this, and over at Area 52.
Uh-oh.
they're doing secret stuff with big UFOs. Huh? I mean, they could be. Wouldn't put it past the government to try to pull one over on us. Just saying.
Every day, Brad.
Every day. If we knew what they know, wouldn't be nearly as exciting. Don't forget to go to odyssey1.com. That's ODYSY and the number 1, just the little 1, just straight up and down 1.com. Dare to Wonder is the theme over there, and it's everything from, well, it's all science fiction. If you like that story, you'll love Odyssey 1, odyssey1.com. In the meantime, Turkey is trying to up their scuba diving tourism game, so they've dumped an A330 commercial airliner into the ocean. Northwest Turkey. That should get them there. I mean, who hasn't thought, when you think I'm going scuba diving?
No. Now, that would be cool, though.
Yeah.
Especially if you could go in it.
See, that would be creepy to me.
It would be creepy. It'd be kind of, yeah. I mean,
it's in.
But if you're a professional scuba diver, that's nothing big. I mean, they're always going down into the caves and stuff like that. But
well, they've that Turkey's
swimming
hoping
over the top of something that should be flying over the top of you is kind of cool.
To me, that would. In Lake Mead, there's a bomber that went down in the 40s, and the lake level is down so much in Lake Mead now that this thing's only under like 30 feet of water. So yeah, in Lake Mead, people are diving around this thing.
Wow!
But in Turkey, they dropped this thing. What they say? How far off the coast? And didn't say how far off.
In that picture, it doesn't look like it's very far.
No, I think they were dragging it. I think that's where they were dragging it off to sea. It's under 98 feet of water. It was retired from flying last year after starting its. Wow, that's a short lifespan for that plane. It started its service in 1995.
That is a short lifespan.
Oof. Something was wrong with that plane. It was brought to the Kesin district of Edirne from the Mediterranean resort city of Antalya. Why can they not just name their stuff English stuff? Why does every country in the world, I mean, seriously, why do they have to make every name they have so hard to pronounce? In addition to the plane, the government also dropped various objects and figures representing the Kanakel War as part of the artificial reef. So they're trying to not only get their scuba diving business up, but apparently provide an artificial reef for the fishies out there. It's just when you see something like that large underneath the water, it just kind of throws you off. In Tennessee, there is a bobcat that is believed to be on the loose. This was in the Tennessee Nature Center in what part of Tennessee is it? It is in, just had this, Lookout Mountain area, so down around, headed down toward Chattanooga. Tennessee Nature Center said a bobcat that they feared had been kidnapped from this facility is now believed to have escaped her would-be abductors and fled into the wild, which means that some idiots broke into the Nature Center and tried to kidnap a bobcat. See, those are the stories where I'm totally obviously rooting for the bobcat here and actually hoping that they'd find one of the idiots who broke in dead somewhere.
The only thing I've ever shot in my life, wildlife, was a bobcat. And we tracked that joker through the woods for about 2 hours.
What did he do to you? Why was he? Why were you?
He was on my land. No, he was on some land that we were deer
eating?
hunting on. And
was he eating your chickens?
No.
It's not a euphemism. So they say that this thing is somewhere out in the wild. Evie, the bobcat, fought against the trespassers last week. Apparently, there's an illegal exotic animal trade. They believe that she fought back against the criminals. She was able to escape before she was stolen. So now she's out there eating somebody's chickens.
So I have a question. Mm-hmm. Do bobcats abduct like small animals? I mean, coyotes.
Sure,
we have coyotes here that'll snatch a dog out of a backyard in a heartbeat.
Actually,
But do these bobcats do that?
There's a bobcat. There was a bobcat in our neighborhood not too long ago. I was standing in the driveway in the back, facing the alley, and a woman was driving down the alley, and she said, "Psst, hey, you." And I was like, "Hey, me? Is a drug deal going down?" She said, "Come here." She said, "I just wanted to let you know." She says, she showed me her phone. She said, "Here's a picture of a bobcat in the alley." So I don't know if they will. Of course, that kind of concerned me because we had a cat. That may have been what ended up getting my cat. I don't know. But I would assume if a bobcat is hungry, it will chaw down on just
eat what it needs to. Yeah.
whatever it takes to survive. So if you're in that area of Tennessee, watch out. Oh, I'm going to have to save the story of the bear for, I'll save that for the Newsmax hour, because that'll give the Newsmax audience a little shot into our psyche. We'll tell them. We'll tell them
something we want to do.
We'll tell them the bear story. We'll tell them what they should do in Yellowstone with the bears. But this,
or not do,
and we will again. We'll tell that to the Newsmax audience. So coming up next hour, it's going to be a little different as we traverse the landscape of Newsmax. We're filling in for Chris Salcedo, and so it's just formatically, it's going to be a little bit different if you're listening to the podcast. If you're watching this morning and listening, you can be on your best behavior, or you don't have to. Either way. But we'll also open up the phone line, so if people want to call in, they can do so, and we'll just up our game. Just a little bit of publicity, shall we say, for Mojo. So we appreciate Chris.
Probably a good idea for us to watch our P's and Q's.
By the way, do you know what that means?
I do not, actually.
It means don't get drunk.
Okay.
Mind your pints and quarts.
Oh, your P's and Q's.
There you go. See?
Or just be good.
So we'll be drunk as monkeys here coming up for the next hour. We're going to go off and do shots of tequila and then come back. See, I've just, everybody right now at Newsmax just went, yeah, it'll be fine. You know what?
That's because they don't know us too well.
In an hour, it'll be over. It'll all be over.
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Except for the lawsuit. You know what they say? It's this sort of thing is it only takes an hour, but the lawsuit, that's when it really gets down to the brass tacks. So stick around for that. And in the meantime, if you need a cooler, don't forget to go to Cat Coolers. That's at catcoolers.com. If you use the promo code Mojo50, you'll get 10% off. And summer's coming. And if you're going scuba diving in Turkey, you'll need one. It's catcoolers.com. This is your Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Looks like the wheels are coming off the Iran nuclear deal. The Islamic Republic says within 2 weeks it will exceed the agreement's limits on uranium stockpiles. At the same time, Tehran warns it needs to hike uranium enrichment to 20%. And that's just a step away from weapons-grade levels.
The development comes in the wake of suspected attacks on oil tankers last week in the region, attacks that Washington has blamed on Iran, as well as increased tensions between Iran and the U.S. The spokesman for Iran's nuclear agency, Behruz Kamalvandi, acknowledged that the country already quadrupled its production of low-enriched uranium and said Tehran would increase uranium enrichment levels based on the country's needs. That increase could be to any level, from 3.67%, which is the current limit set by the nuclear deal. I'm Karen Shamas.
Secretary of State Pompeo says the United States is committed to keeping shipping lanes open throughout the Persian Gulf region. Pompeo says he's been in touch with world leaders about that, and specifically about U.S. allegations that Iran has been attacking oil tankers.
There's no doubt. The intelligence community has lots of data, lots of evidence. The world will come to see much of it, but the American people should rest assured we have high confidence with respect to who conducted these attacks, as well as a half a dozen other attacks throughout the world over the past 40 days.
Pompeo on Fox News Sunday. After standing down, protesters have returned to the streets of Hong Kong this morning, outraged over an extradition bill that's been shelved, at least for now. The bill would allow Hong Kong criminal suspects to be tried in China. After a massive weekend blackout that hit tens of millions of people in Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay, authorities still largely in the dark about the cause of the collapse of the interconnected grid. Investigation now underway. Wall Street, Dow futures up 21 points, NASDAQ futures up 23. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
You know what makes you feel really good about yourself? Doing something good for somebody else. If you'd like to do that today, go to jdrf.org. Join them in the fight against type 1 diabetes. jdrf.org. It's something good you can do for the world. jdrf.org.
Ladies, some of you sickos willingly accept that with the big doe eyes that you don't even need from a Snapchat filter and just look up at R. Kelly and say, give me your best.
The Rancevizzo. United 7. Mojo 50.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
If we weren't so bad.
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss. Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titty. We wouldn't be so good. Mojo 50.
The mothership has landed.
So even with that little promo, they just thought
they're not live with us right now.
No, but I mean they've heard that obviously over at Newsmax that they.
Yeah, I'm not playing that promo during the show.
That's always fun when there's a guest in the studio and that one plays.
Yeah,
and because you kind of see their eyes and their eyes just normal, and then that plays and their eyes just kind of light up and they look around and it's like they wonder what they have wandered into. So again, for those of you who are members of the Jackhole Nation, regular listeners to the program for the next hour or so, we're filling in for Chris Salcedo, who does a daily show over at Newsmax, and he's taking the week off. So
so you'll hear another opener here in about 45 seconds.
So this is kind of your behind. This is like we should charge them for getting a behind the scenes look at what it is we do.
Now, when they go to break on Newsmax TV, we'll still be here.
Yes, we will. And then
you'll hear us.
We'll talk about the Newsmax audience. So see, that's what we'll do in the breaks. We'll talk about them while we're together as a family.
30 seconds, Brad.
Which this is just so exciting. And again, we'll start with the bear and so many things. Because I think the bear story is important. The bear story is very important, especially this time of year. Okay, man, we're 10 seconds away from
another opener,
from being live on Newsmax. This is either the beginning of something beautiful or the start of something very, very tragic. We'll see in a second, won't we?
The mothership has landed.
Yeah, no, it is not Chris Salcedo this morning on Newsmax for those of you joining us. No, we are the Daily Mojo. It's Brad Staggs on Twitter, Real Brad Staggs. Ron Phillips is over there. He's known as the guy behind the glass.
That's me.
At Real Ron Phillips over on Twitter as well. If you're curious as to what the Daily Mojo is, this is Doc Thompson's legacy. This is what he started. This is the platform he started and then left us with a lot of work when he decided to go jogging. So now you know.
Yeah, that was a tough day, wasn't it, Brad?
Yeah, it was a tough day.
Tough month.
And it's been a tough almost 5 months going on now, and it's somewhat like Negan on The Walking Dead when he says, without a number two guy, you got a whole lot of work. Well, without the leader of the project, boy, with the rest of us got a whole lot of work. So welcome to the Newsmax audience. And just by way of kind of giving you the feeling of the Daily Mojo, we are in mojo50.com as well. We're more of we slant libertarian, conservative libertarian, and we kind of look at things a little differently. Like, for instance, I bring this bear story to you as a
the peace offering.
Yeah, this is just kind of this is how we look at things. This is a tragic story. Young black bear was shot and killed by state officials after it became so habituated to humans that the public could actually get close enough to take selfies with it. This was in Washington County, the sheriff's office there. The Oregon Department of Fish began receiving calls and seeing social media posts with the bear in the Scoggins Valley Park near Henry Hagg Lake. Tuesday evening, deputies from the sheriff's office and Oregon State Police were dispatched to the area after receiving 2 calls about the bear and sent a tweet about the public to stay away. The bear had been given food all week long. They ended up having to shoot the bear.
What?
Yeah. The bear had to be, they had to kill it. They say they had to kill it because it got too used to human contact. Wildlife biologists Kurt License and Doug Kitchen they set out to trap and relocate the bear. They received another call that the bear was on the highway. Not attempting to drive, but it was on the highway. They found the bear eating trail mix, sunflower seeds, and cracked corn.
So he got too friendly with you.
Yes.
Or were they afraid he was just going to attack somebody?
Apparently so. There were several piles of food on the road that had been left out for the bear. He did not run away when the wildlife officials approached. It was very clear that the animal was way too habituated. With that information, it was a human health and safety risk. We had to remove it. The 100-pound male black bear was 2 to 3 years old. Cute bear. But to keep the public safe, they had to take the bear down. And this has been my suggestion for some time. After going to Yellowstone and seeing the way people in Yellowstone
he's a sad-looking bear.
I know bears are great. They just let bears be bears. They're going to do what they're going to do. And in national parks where there are bears and they have all the cutesy little signs that say, be bear aware. Don't feed the bears. And everybody thinks the bears, there's Yogi, hey, boo-boo. And people, you can't feed the bears. And if you put a sign up that says essentially, because bears will eat you.
That's what I started to say. They needed a picture of someone taking a selfie with a bear chomping on them.
Yes.
That still would not have mattered, Brad.
Well, here's the thing. If you put pictures up of a person who, for instance, his name is Bob, as I like to call him, and Bob has, attempted to feed the bears and has fed the bears in the past, and one day the bears get sick of Bob and they tear Bob into 6 or 7 individual bite-sized pieces. And all that's left of Bob once the authorities get there is maybe an arm and, part of a torso and maybe a few toes.
Guilty-looking bear.
Yeah, with, slop all around his mouth, And you take a picture of that and you put that up in the wildlife stations where the public goes, and you say, look, this is Bob. Bob fed the bears. This is what's left of Bob. Don't be Bob. You would get people to stop feeding the bears. It's when you try to be cutesy.
No, you wouldn't, because people believe that they're not going to be Bob.
Well, at least you can say you gave it your best shot. Because when you try to anthropomorphize these things,
I guess
everybody, because they are cute. They're awful cute.
There
They're
are
cute when they're
tons of videos out there of people just being dumb.
Yes. And they did same thing in Yellowstone with the bison up there.
Yep.
People were getting out of their cars. They would walk within 5 feet of these bison. And bison, I don't know if they're smart or
holding
stupid.
their kids, turn around to get selfies.
Bison may be the smartest animal on the planet. I don't know. They don't look that bright, but they have. They're awfully large. They've got. They have horns, don't they? They got fur on the top of their head. I know that. They may or may not have horns, but they got big head. You know what? They don't need horns. They're big. They can just run into you. And people were, within 4 or 5 feet. The kids, let's get a selfie, and they turn their back to the thing. And it's amazing there aren't more people eaten or beaten or just plain old killed by bison in Yellowstone every year. But with the bears, it's the same situation. We get so close to them, and now this poor little bear has paid the price. Because he trusted, and now he has become a statistic. They had to put the bear down up in either Oregon or Washington because he became so essentially domesticated, so used to people bringing him food and so used to eating it that the wildlife officials there had to put the bear down. Because they couldn't take the chance.
Well, they put the bear down because people are dumb. People would have gone up there, let's pet him. He's domesticated, or what'd you call it? Habituated.
Habituated. I guess that's the. I don't think I've ever heard that term, but they were. Yeah, he just got used to people coming up and leaving him food. So he's eating their trail mix, and he's doing all of those things. He just became a little too friendly for their tastes, and they didn't want the bear to end up tasting a person. So because a bear is still a bear. No matter how cute it is still a bear, and with one swipe of its paw, it will take you down. So that's kind of gives you an idea of our psyche around here at Mojo 50. So good luck. You got us the whole week.
Oh, yay.
Good for you. The phone number here, by the way, I guess we can take calls here. Is that right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so 202-900-5900, which, again, spells nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you'll just have to remember 202.
It was a tough decision for us, but we got an easy number, 202-900-5900.
Yeah.
Not hard.
No. By the way, we also have an innuendo bell.
Yes, we do.
That's when something sounds just a little, We ring the bell, and you can choose
and then we
to.
move on.
Yes, we do. We don't labor the point unless we decide that we're going to be labor the point. In some news that just came out about 25 minutes ago, in Nigeria, there's been a suicide blast that has killed 30 football fans in Borno. This is in northeastern Nigeria. They were watching a televised football match. Another 40 were injured in the triple suicide bombing, according to the state emergency management agency there. The bombers detonated their explosives outside a hall in Konduga village in Borno State. This is they're blaming Boko Haram for this. Again, a militant Islamist group. No immediate comment from that group, but this again coming out of Nigeria. So it's the world continues to turn even as these things happen. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she is of course, a favorite of ours here, and she has once again put her 2 cents worth in when it comes to impeachment of the president, President Donald Trump. She was on ABC News over the weekend, and we have just a little bit of sound from her, and we will get to that here momentarily as we continue to fill in for Chris Salcedo and Newsmax. This is your Daily Mojo.
And we're back.
And look at that. See? Did anybody get injured?
Nobody got hurt.
No one's bleeding? No concussions so far. This is good. So at least they know what we're all about now. They've heard the bear story.
By the way, we got a caller that called in to say that this was not a grizzly. It was not a Kodiak bear. It was a small black bear. They said about 100 pounds. What they should have done, Brad, was capture it and relocate it, actually.
Yes, but the problem is no matter where they relocated it, it was
he
still
would have
used
still
to,
been the same
I'm
domesticated bear. Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that they shouldn't have done it. I'm just saying that it sounds like I would have thought that if they could have, they would have.
Right. I agree.
But Homeward Bound Onion, using the hashtag What I Learned Today, bears are basically dog software running on gorilla hardware.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
It's like saying that they are,
dog software running on gorilla hardware.
Or what we perceive to be the cute, fuzzy dog software, but it's really actually alligator software running, dressed as dog software running on gorilla hardware.
Dressed as dog software.
Yes,
that's right.
They will eat you. I mean, especially if this was a 100-pound cub, there was a 8,000-pound mama somewhere that, I don't know how young it was, but if mama's around, you don't want to mess with mama.
Yeah.
And Peekapoo, the snarky jackhole. So you're saying don't feed the Mojo hosts?
That's not what we're saying at all.
Well, maybe, but not for the same reasons as the bear. We won't eat you.
Well, you could feed me.
You don't need feeding. You've been eating the trail mix that people have dropped off too much. And people do feed us. They come by all the time and bring us food.
God, dog.
And yes, pickled squirrel, that's what I call the Disney effect. People get stupid around cute wildlife. By the way, it was the pickled squirrel who says almost got her in trouble. That was not her that wrote the letter. It was a different Casey. So it was not pickled squirrel.
Oh, it was not pickled squirrel.
No.
So it's not Zippy Pickle.
Could be. It's just not.
Woo, we almost got her in trouble. Is she married? I wonder if she's. Oh,
yeah.
snap!
How many years now? Yeah, it's been a few years. You guys almost got me in trouble. I'm celebrating my 20th anniversary this Wednesday. Huh? Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, squirrel.
Sorry, pickle squirrel.
That was not my intention, or maybe it was
at all.
You just never know. Anything is possible. All right, so we're going to rejoin the Newsmax crew here in just a few seconds, and I just want to commend the Jackhole Nation for their patience, their loyalty, and an unknown Robert on our, what is that? Oh, he's on hold. Huh.
We're kind of like...
Take two.
We're kind of like...
Take three.
We're kind of like Grindr for Mojo Sexuals. Mojo 50. I can't do that with a straight face.
All right. This is your Daily Mojo. We're sitting in for Chris Salcedo as he takes a week off from Newsmax. Thank you for joining us. Going to hang around. We were just mentioning Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez before the break, and she replied to a tweet from the president yesterday. She says she was ready to call his bluff. The president tweeted to Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, "I think we have a very real risk of losing the presidency to Donald Trump. I agree, and that is the only reason they play the impeach card, which cannot legally be used." This again, this is the president doing his usual. He's such a good troller. He can trigger. He triggers progressives better than I think anybody gives him credit for. AOC responded in kind, "Mr. President, you're from Queens. You may fool the rest of the country, but I'll call your bluff any day of the week. Opening an impeachment inquiry is exactly what we must do when the president obstructs justice, advises witnesses to ignore legal subpoenas, and more." Bye, and then the hand clap. Done. She's done. She was on This Week on ABC yesterday and had this to say. Let me plug this in. You'll be able to hear it much better.
That it's justifiable. I think the evidence continues to come in, and I believe that with the president now saying that he is willing to break the law to win re-election, that transcends partisanship, it transcends party lines, and this is now about the rule of law.
Well, it would be, except that's not what the president said. The president said he would listen. If somebody had information, if an outside source, an outside country had information, he'd listen. And he brought up a good point as well, and which apparently she did not hear him say. Otherwise, what she just said would not have made any sense. The fact that how would he know if you did? Let's put yourself in the president's place. How would you know if what the outside source, whatever it is, had information that was damaging, illegal, or otherwise, if you didn't listen to it? And again, to the president's defense, he says, "I talk to world leaders all the time. I talk to leaders from around the world of the different countries, and they say a lot of different things. Should I report all of that to the FBI? Of course not." This is the latest attempt, and it's entertaining is what it is. The unfortunate for people with a brain, it's entertaining because it is just so foolish to keep going down this road, to keep beating the dead horse over and over and over again. They are so desperate to find something that they can pin on this president, that they will say anything. And just again, for the record, for the audience that joined us this morning, I did not vote for Donald Trump. However, this president has been so good at keeping his campaign promises. He has been instrumental in making our economy a much stronger. He has, I think, shown incredible leadership skills, and I probably would vote for him this time. But going into it, no, I was not a Donald Trump supporter. So it's not. And let me say this: President Obama was fabulous at getting at accomplishing his agenda as well. I didn't agree with it, but he was very, very good at it. This president is very, very good at it as well, and that is what the progressives don't like. They don't like the fact that he's getting things done, and they can't find a thing to pin on him. So this is just the latest attempt, obviously, to make something out of nothing. That's exactly what they have, is nothing. Why would listening to anybody, if they said they had information, how is that a crime? Why would that be reportable to the FBI? It makes no sense. She continued.
United States of America.
There's a new poll out this morning, NBC News, that shows significant growth in Democratic support for impeachment. And the survey was done before George's interview. Pelosi, though, Speaker Pelosi has really held her line on this. How is that flying with progressives?
Well, I think for me, this question should not be about polls. It should not be about elections. Sure. I think that impeachment is incredibly serious, and this is about the presence and evidence that the president may have committed a crime.
Well, at least she says that impeachment is very serious. Good for her. Kudos to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for saying that impeachment is very serious. Of course it's very serious. I think that goes without saying. And she's right, shouldn't have anything to do with polls. Of course it does. They're trying to appease the base. They're just trying to, if they had anything that they could impeach the president on, they would have already pulled the trigger. That's, the bottom line. Why wouldn't they? They're not, because they have to play this out. They don't want to peak too soon. They peak too soon. They got nothing going into the election, and this is the only thing that they can play. The only thing. And it's a waste of our time. It borders on silliness. That's what Mike Pompeo, our Secretary of State, said as he was on, I think he was on Fox News over the weekend. He defended the president on Sunday when asked about the president's apparent willingness to accept political dirt on his opponents from a foreign power, calling the controversy a Washington piece of silliness, and that's exactly what it is. That town runs on... It runs on room. Washington, D.C. is worse than the National Enquirer. That entire town runs on. It runs on rumors. It runs on. Obviously, it runs on power. But the stories that circulate around that town, it's power. That's all it's about. Fox News host Chris Wallace asked Pompeo Sunday if accepting Oppo research from a foreign government was right or wrong. And the former CIA director responded, Chris, you asked me not to call any of your questions today ridiculous. You came really close right there. Which Fox is starting to show its obvious left-leaning, or definitely left-of-center leaning these days. President Trump has been very clear that he will always make sure he gets it right for the American people, and I'm confident he will do that here as well, Pompeo said. This whole thing, if you look at the timeline of everything that they've tried to pin on this, it's just been one thing after another, and they throw something and they see if it sticks, and when they see the adhesive on that doesn't work and start to fall out, they come up with something else. And I really do believe that President Trump does his best to feed up, because he knows it's ridiculous.
He tends to troll a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's, look, do we need that? Probably.
Well, of course,
but he feeds it.
He knows how to he's brilliant at taking the spotlight and pointing it on him.
Yeah.
I've known other people like that as well in this business. And, for whether that's good or bad, that's up to you to decide. But he is brilliant at taking the spotlight and pointing it on him. I commend him for that. He just, to this point, I just don't believe he's done anything illegal. If he had, they would have been all over him. Who's that on the line there?
So the first call we've got coming in is Jane from Massachusetts, who wanted to say hi to Brad.
Well, all right. Jane from Massachusetts, hello.
Hi. I'm just calling to make a remark about AOC. Mm-hmm. I believe she was responsible for Amazon not being in New York.
Yep.
Now she's saying that they're underpaying their workers. Well, Stuart Varney investigated and found out that they're paying them $15 an hour and more, and giving them all kinds of benefits, 401ks and insurance and everything else. So it just goes to show you what how the Democrat Party lies.
That's absolutely true. And you're dealing with somebody here who, again, just a year ago was, and there's nothing wrong with being a waitress, but her knowledge of politics and how government works is obviously not up to par. She doesn't understand a lot of the basics of economics, and it's obvious in a lot of the things she says. But again, Jane, you have to admit she's entertaining.
Yeah, and dumb.
Yes, there's that too. Thanks for calling, Jane. But go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say that, I voted for President Trump.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing I did, and I'm going to vote for him again. He's a wonderful president. He doesn't lie. He says what he's going to do, and he does it. They all tell you they're going to do something. They always have, the Democrat Party, and never, ever do it.
You're absolutely right. Jane, appreciate it. Oops, sorry, I hit that a little too soon. And here's the bottom line: what Jane was saying, and I think she echoes 99% of the base of Donald Trump. Nothing is going to change her mind. Go back to what he said before or during the campaign. I could shoot somebody. What did he say on where were you, in Park Place, in Times Square, wherever it was? I could shoot somebody, people would still vote for me. He wasn't that far off the mark. And Jane is right. He's done more too. He made campaign promises, and he kept them. I mean, and he's a businessman. He's a businessman who went to Washington, and he disrupted the status quo. They hate that. They hate that on both sides of the aisle. It's not just the Democrats. The Republicans there hated it as well. They hate having him there because he does not play the game the same way they do. And that irritates the crap out of them. They really don't know how to handle this guy. You combine that with the inexperience of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and I have been... the Newsmax crowd, that's kind of our little sounder. That's kind of our little dog whistle for AOC. You combine the president's enormous ability to troll with AOC's enormous undereducation, let's just call it, and you have nothing but entertainment. We take a break. We will be back on Newsmax, sitting in for Chris Salcedo. This is your Daily Mojo.
And you're back.
So we're back with the Mojo.
We got
crew.
a 4-minute break on Newsmax right now.
You guys want to roll some dice? Let's play some craps. Just real quick. We just have to have all the dice and everything put away by the time they get back. By the time the adults come back into the room, we just have to have everything cleaned up. We can drink, too, because nobody's watching, and they left us the key to the liquor cabinet.
It's kind of a scary thing, right?
Really, really
Although
is.
the liquor cabinet's right behind you there, so
yeah, I know.
It's not really locked up.
No,
we should probably lock it up, but it's not locked up.
Same thing as leaving us the key, really, isn't it? I think that went well. No one was injured. Look at all the phone calls coming in.
Yeah, the phone calls are flowing in right now.
This is exciting. And for
Line 2 is your next one.
Is that Timmy the pilot?
It is. Line 2, and then just go in order.
Look at that. See, there is a big, bright world out there beyond what we've seen so far. I was going to share with while we're waiting, I wanted to share with you the preserved. This is freaky. This is the perfectly preserved head of an Ice Age wolf found in Siberia. I mean, that's pretty amazing. That looks like it could have been a wolf that
killed
was
a week ago.
Yeah.
But it was frozen, right? I mean,
yes, Ice Age. To give you an idea, this thing died 40,000 years ago. I mean, look at those teeth. He had a good dentist, obviously. This wolf lived at the same time as the mammoths became extinct alongside them. It was an adult, 25% bigger than today's wolves. Didn't say whether it was a male or a female. But this was about the size of what do they call them? The dire wolves on Game of Thrones. That's so trippy when you see something like this that's been, I feel the same way about mummies and daddies. But when they open up these mummies and you see how preserved they are after being dead and wrapped up for, thousands of years, and they still look like they've been, put in the ground or put in the box just a couple of days ago. Just the way my mind works. But we'll find. See, this is the beauty about having our little. It's almost like we found. This is like cheating on our. We're married to the Jackhole Nation. We're cheating with a new girlfriend.
That's what it is.
And we're coming back. Hey, Jackhole Nation got a hot new girlfriend over here. I want to see it.
NewsmaxTV.com.
Right. Exactly. Now it's see, they're monitoring us right now. Newsmax going, what in the hell are those people doing over there? And why would Salcedo have anything to do with these folks?
Chris loves us. 1 minute, Brad.
Didn't say he had good taste. Smacking Duck, of course, said, what's the best way to cook something like that? Hashtag Big Wolf Head. Here's the thing. I wonder what that would taste like. That would be some tough meat. Just saying. The Pickled Squirrel. Quick, how many dick jokes can we get in 4 minutes? See, that's what we have to do. Is we have to be very efficient at telling them and getting right back and just putting our big boy pants
30
back
seconds.
on. And Mojo Jedi says, trollers, no trolling. That's true. That is true. See,
That's true. That's
so
true.
many things. See how many things we have just between us as friends. All of these inside jokes that we have. I feel closer to each and every one of you, which is kind of creepy when you stop and think about it. All right, everybody, quick, hide. They're coming back in the room.
Rebel rousers, instigators, troublemakers, freaks, agitators, fanatics, scallywags, mutants, scamps, firebrands, rogues, scoundrels, mojo sexuals, Mojo 50.
All right, for those of you over on Newsmax, we're sitting in for Chris Salcedo. This is your Daily Mojo. If you want to follow us on Twitter, I'm Real Brad Staggs, and that over there is Real Ron Phillips.
Thank you.
That would be with 3 L's or 2.
That would be 3, Brad.
See?
3
Very
total.
Good.
Yes.
Very good. And if you tweet at us, use the hashtag What I Learned Today. It's just it's actually something Doc Thompson came up with about 6.5 years ago. Been using it ever since. So that kind of lets us know. We can search that out and find that you're listening or watching the program. In Virginia, politics as usual there. A Virginia Democrat who was accused in 2014 of having sex with his teenage secretary. He later married her. He won the Democratic primary last week for the state's 16th Senate district. Joe Morrissey, a former state legislator, defeated incumbent Senator Rosalind Dance by over 10 points, despite Governor Ralph Northam endorsing her in the final weekend of the campaign. Wait a minute. The governor his endorsement didn't help Rosalind Dance? I'm shocked. Now, remember, this is the, of course, same governor who he refused to back down, refused to resign, and honestly, looks like he made the right decision as far as his political career is concerned, because he outweighted the news cycle, and that news blew right on by him. Good for him. This guy's victory in the primary comes even though he was sentenced 4 years ago and jailed over a scandal involving a minor. He was in his 50s at the time, while the minor was 17 years old. She worked at his law office. He now has a daughter with her, his daughter Bella.
Why does that look like a fake image? Look at his face. That looks like a fake image.
It does look like somebody photoshopped his face on there, but apparently not. So maybe not. Yeah, he had a relationship with this underage girl in his campaign office, or in his law office, I guess, and they still elected him. Good for them. Good for them. See, that's the problem is when you elect these people, you get what you pay for, and that's why you end up getting the Ralph Northams of the world. I'm going to go to Timmy the Pilot is on the line. I'm assuming Timmy the Pilot is flying high over someplace.
Hey, is this Chris?
No, this is not Chris, you see. This is, and Timmy, being a pilot, I hope you have your big boy pants on today. I hope that you're on your best behavior up in the air.
Yeah, I'm your new traffic and weather intern up here. I got my pants on. Who is this? This is my first day doing this, and I'm kind of nervous.
You see, I think it's probably a better idea if you pay attention to flying the plane. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Timmy the pilot, he is a regular member of what we call our Jack Hole Nation family, and he is he was able to get a pilot's license and is a genuine pilot flying a plane somewhere high above.
Well, sir, Chris wanted to hire me for traffic and weather, so I'm really nervous. Can I do this real quick?
Sure.
I'm looking out the window right now.
You go ahead and go ahead and give us a quick traffic and weather update.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Like I said, I'm kind of nervous, so I'm looking out the window right now, and I'm at 37,000 feet. That's pretty high.
You think you're nervous?
The sun's out right now. Yeah, I'm nervous, but I'm shaking really bad.
Not as nervous as I am.
Okay, well, I'm going to behave myself, but it's sunny out here right now. The sun is over to my east and kind of high, and the weather looks really good, but there's a chance of big thunderstorms today across the country, so y'all be careful out there. It could be severe, and I'm looking down to see the traffic right now, and I'm so high I can't see no traffic because the roads are just little dots. So I apologize. I can't give you a traffic report, sir.
Well, it's your first day doing it, so I don't blame you. We won't dock you any pay.
Sir, I don't. I hope Chris don't get mad at me because like I said, I'm doing this for free because I'm an intern. I'm really nervous, so I better go now because I'm getting scared.
That's probably a good idea. All right, yeah. The beauty of it is none of us are getting paid for this, so that's. There you go. Remember
Timmy the pilot.
Remember what they say. Death is easy. Comedy, that's hard. John is on the phone. John, where are you calling from?
Washington, D.C.
The garden spot of the country. How are you, sir?
Yeah, well, I used to live in New Jersey, and they called it the Garden State, and it was a lie, and what you just said about Washington is a lie, too. It has nothing to do with gardens. Maybe with unlivable swamps, which they made into the nation's capital from the beginning, but now the swamp is coming and taking over this whole area. But anyway, I wanted to talk of somebody from the New York area that was a barista or something like that, a barmaid, didn't make much money even though she had a college degree. And I think her first real job was when she got elected to defeat an incumbent and come to Washington and got sworn in beginning of January. And so she's been there about 5 months, and she's getting $174,000 a year. That's the scale. And she's pushing for a pay increase already after being on the job only for five months. And she said, well, it's only like $4,500 increase. Well, that doesn't bother me as much as I heard she has a boyfriend, a live-in boyfriend, and he's being paid as some kind of special consultant. I'm not sure what he's getting, but it's quite a sizable amount because he came up with some scheme where he's taken money, contributions, to the tune of $700,000, and he's put it in some kind of a secret account for her. I don't know if you guys heard anything about that.
Hadn't heard about that, but I tell you, it's hard to, she wants the cost of living raise essentially. It's tough to get by on $174,000 plus a year. I mean,
well, what was she making in New York, which is a higher cost of living? The whole thing is ridiculous.
She wasn't making that much.
Anyway, you said when the first caller, I guess, from Boston called in, you said she doesn't know anything about economics. Well, she went to Boston U, supposedly graduated in good standing. In fact, I heard she graduated cum laude, by the way, and her major was economics. So it was a waste of money. Don't pay any attention to this broad. She's terrible. She lost jobs for New York, and she thought she was doing them a favor to kill the headquarters moving there, the Amazon 2 headquarters moving there. She is a complete loss, complete failure in everything she does. She's got the reverse Midas touch. Her last name happens to be Cortez. Well, Cortez, Hernando Cortez, her namesake, he killed Montezuma, taking all his gold way back when. And when you got sick in Mexico, really sick. They called it Montezuma's Revenge. Well, with a name like Cortez, it applies to her.
There you go.
You guys take care.
Thanks,
Right.
John. Appreciate the phone call. And maybe that's true. Maybe she is actually Montezuma's revenge. It's possible.
It is possible.
You know, she did graduate with that degree in economics. Here's the thing: she's smart enough to know to ask for a raise. Think about that, and whether or not the Congress will vote themselves that raise. And I guarantee, if they do it, they will do it in the middle of the night. We go to line 3. Peter is in New York. Peter, how are you, sir?
I'm well, Brad, and good morning to you and Ron. How's all?
As to you,
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, I'm calling from New York, and I'm reporting from about 2 feet off the surface of the ground. So,
Probably.
How's the weather down there, Peter?
You have a better look at the traffic than Timmy the
I'll
pilot.
tell you what. The only way I can explain living in New York, the way I view things, I'm just basically in a neck-and-neck horse race on a merry-go-round. So
there you go.
Basically, I've gotten to the point where I watch all of our politicians. I'm old enough to know, and I'm in my 50s, so I've seen the change of the Democratic Party. Governor Cuomo of the 80s, those policies and those Democrats then is nothing like those of his children. And what's going on throughout the scope of this country is politicians, most of them Ivy League graduates. The bottom line is they get elected, and then that starts their career.
Yes.
Our founding fathers, I've studied the Revolutionary War for 25 years, and our founding fathers had the common sense, Thomas Paine, intent of having people work for their new country, contribute to their new country, so you would be elected as a representative of Senate or Congress. You would serve a term, 2, maybe 3, then you would go back to your careers.
Yes.
And then let others step in.
That has been lost. That has been lost.
Well,
and Peter, I got to cut you off. I'm running up against the clock here. I've only got about 30 seconds left, so go ahead.
All right, so basically it's just people got to get a backbone, stand up, and start fighting against them.
Yes, totally agree. Thank you for the call, Peter. Appreciate that. Here's the thing. What the Founding Fathers wanted and what we have been able to achieve today, about 180 degrees off. I mean, we were close, but we have perverted the system that they envisioned. And we have to give ourselves credit. We did it well. It's your Daily Mojo sitting in for Chris Salcedo at Newsmax.
You're back.
Do I have to talk to the Jackhole Nation now? Do they? Okay, come on, people. Do you not realize how big a star I am now?
So we've got the 3 more calls that are on hold, and guys, we appreciate you taking the time to give us a call today. We will be on Newsmax all week long, sitting in for Chris Salcedo. So if we don't get to your call, please know that
it was only because we didn't like you. That was the only reason.
That's not why.
We didn't like you, and we didn't want to take your phone
That's not why at all.
Have you? For those of you who are listening in on the behind the scenes. The first rule in radio, and I've said this before, if you are on the radio and you take a phone call from somebody, out there in listener land, the hotter they sound, the uglier they are. I mean, that's fact. It's proven fact. And the same thing goes from that side of the speaker as well. You hear somebody on the radio, you think, they got a nice voice. Nah. They have a face for radio, guarantee you. AI has listened now to people's voices and then generated their faces. And the really scary thing, it's very accurate. AI has been able to recreate or create from scratch a face that the computer thinks matches the voice. And we'll tweet a link to this. It's eerily accurate. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, computers are garbage in, garbage out. They only know what the computer programmer told them. But the fact that it is so accurate is really kind of creepy. We like to keep an eye on things like that. I'm going to tweet that link right now. Again, it only is because in this business, you end up talking to a lot of people. 60 seconds. This is so exciting. Can we get makeup in here? We need makeup and wardrobe. I'm going to need wardrobe as well. Need tucks and pinches and a little extra powder. By the way, that's, once you get used to somebody doing your makeup in television, you never want to do it yourself again. Just saying.
Is it because they're better at it than you?
No, it's just because it's nice to have you get up in the morning and you get somebody to do your makeup and your hair. You think I get up and it naturally occurs? And look at you. Just look at you.
Yeah, look at me.
Oh, I should have more of the, sorry, shame on me. Hot Rocky with I resemble that remark at Real Brad Staggs. I like to think I'm not horrible looking and my voice isn't terrible. Well, see, everybody that's here, obviously, we're not subject to those same rules. Come on. Completely different. You have to know. You have to know when to apply the rules and when not to apply the rules. All right, everybody, hold your breath. Here we go.
Mojo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us.
And the answer there was Amtrak in some cases. Tech Roo reading some of your tweets over on the Twitterverse. And remember, if you are tweeting at the show, we are sitting in today for Chris Salcedo on Newsmax. We are your Daily Mojo at Mojo 50. This was Doc Thompson's platform that he started and then tossed in our lap. Tech Roo, using the hashtag What I Learned Today. A wise man once said, quote, video killed the radio star. And that is so true. And Hot Rocky with an I resemble that remark at Real Brad Staggs. Like to think I'm not horrible looking. My voice isn't terrible. And by the way, you can listen to, what time is their program on?
Which one? Sorry.
Hot Rocky, the Bells of
It's
Liberty.
at 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday.
I knew that.
2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. The Bells of Liberty.
See, so many things to keep track of. A pro-abortion group yesterday wished a happy Father's Day to all the pro-choice dads out there. National Association for the Repeal of Abortion Laws, or NARAL, tweeted on Sunday praising pro-abortion dads for their support of equality and bodily autonomy. The group said supporting abortion makes these fathers great role models. It does make you wonder if they saw any irony in their statements. I mean, it just seems to me just a little strange. NARAL also posted a Men for Choice Father's Day letter signed by a variety of senators and lawmakers, including Democratic Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal, Democratic Florida Representative Patrick Murphy, Maryland Representative Chris Van Hollen, and former Democratic Ohio Governor Ted Strickland, and NARAL members. The post encouraged men who support abortion not to vote for President Donald Trump in the 2020 presidential campaign, saying that, quote, we believe women should live in a world where they have the right to make their own decisions, not only about health care, but their lives without interference, end quote. So I'm not sure exactly how they were. It's just so weird when you think about, hey, pro-abortion dads, happy Father's Day. I mean, you're not, but congratulations. It's very, very strange. Back to the phones we go. And by the way, if you want to call us, our phone number here is 202-900-5900. An easy way to remember that is just remember that it's 202-900-5900.
Yeah, because it doesn't spell a damn thing.
Doesn't spell anything at all. Marianne is on the phone from Pennsylvania. Hello, Marianne.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
Absolutely great. I mean, it's Monday.
Is this Mojo?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We're filling Chris Salcedo's seat today. Only sounds strange.
Boy, do I want to talk to you. I don't think he's on. I don't think he's on. I can't believe it's Mojo.
Well,
Brad.
See? Yes.
Is it Brad?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Is it Marianne?
Oh, there. Oh, yeah.
Well,
I heard myself talking. I'm going to turn it down. Hey, how you doing, Brad?
I'm doing fabulous, Marianne. This is a fabulous conversation. It's Monday, and
I would love to have your job.
No, you wouldn't.
I would have so much fun over there. I love to talk.
One
time when I lived in New Jersey for a long time.
Did you?
And I did some sales work, yes. And I'm going to tell you about this. So I put on my machine.
Uh-huh.
I didn't go to work that day.
Right.
So I put on my machine. I'm entertaining the President of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Just please leave your name and phone number. He got everybody in the building to come in and listen to what I said. Do you believe it?
I tell you, some people
I
have a
never went
voice that
back.
draws people in.
I never went back. I quit my job.
Well,
I thought that was rotten. But at any rate, But at any rate, getting back to Donald Trump.
Yes.
I was on the bus yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And I was talking to the guy that drove the bus.
Right.
It's really a van. It's a senior van.
Right.
I'm a senior, honey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 80 years old. But at any rate, he told me, he said, he knows how I feel about Donald Trump.
Right.
But he says, listen, he said, I want to tell you, as soon as I get on the bus, when he come out, he walked me up, and I was telling him, I'm Mrs. Trump. I said, I'm Mrs. Trump today, and I got on, and some girl knew me in there, and on the bus, and I said, she says, you never changed, but, I never used to talk like that. I'm Mrs. Trump, okay?
Uh-huh.
You got to treat me good today. And it went on, and we started talking about Donald Trump, and I have good news for Donald. This bus driver told me that he asked everybody that got on the bus who they would like to be the next president, and it's Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Nobody voted for anybody else.
Well,
and
that's a plus.
Yeah,
I mean,
I want Donald Trump to hear that. I don't know if he listens to this. I'm sure he does.
Oh, every day we have. He calls here so many times. We actually have to put him on hold, and we have to get back to him after a while because it's actually that we. Ron, remind me to. Stop taking the president's calls. I mean, he's taking up too much of my time.
Yeah, he's taking up too much time.
And Mary, I don't know where Mary Ann went, but Mary Ann, thank you for the call. And that's a good point. Is that you don't ever hear about those stories. You don't ever hear about the polls where the president is being overwhelmingly supported. We did hear about the polls where he is. Let's see, how many points behind is he in? So much so that he fired his polling staff. I don't have that in front of me, but obviously the reason wasn't that he was behind in the polling. The people that he fired he fired them because they leaked the information. You cannot have people inside your organization that are leaking information. You can't trust them. If you can't trust the people that are working for you, your company is, in essence, his company.
Well, and the thing that we don't know, Brad, is how many people, because when he got into office, he started, after a little bit, people just started dropping off. And quite honestly, we don't have any clue, really, whether or not those people were leaking or not. And he just said, all right, you got to go.
Here's the thing. Every administration has people that quit, that are fired every time a new administration comes into power. It's just the nature of the business.
Right.
It's a pressure cooker up there. It's a pressure cooker. The hours are long, and it's not for everybody. And after a while, you got to get out. In Sarah Sanders' case, I think
that's what I was about to say. I'm going to tell you, she lasted a whole lot longer than I thought she would. Mm-hmm. But she was really good at it.
She was fabulous at it. And honestly, I would not have taken her job. Well, yeah, there's a certain dollar figure I would have taken her job for. Had a lot of zeros before the decimal point, too. But the thing is it turned into a circus. She left. I mean, I think she wants to start her own political career, but thanks to the likes of Jim Acosta.
Are you saying governor of Arkansas? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's an absolute possibility. In other news, the USA Powerlifting Association is facing a discrimination complaint in Minnesota over its transgender athlete policy after it said that J.C. Cooper, a biological man, could not compete in women's events. Welcome to 2019, my friends. The Federation's president told the Daily Caller it's prepared to go to court to keep the policy in place. Think about this. The Powerlifting Association is having to go to court to keep a man from competing in women's powerlifting. When did we trip over the threshold and stumble into the alternate universe that this has become?
At the same time, our guy that was the runner. We covered that story a couple of weeks ago. That guy.
The dude he was like 7 feet. I mean, he was a dude. And he won the 200 meter in the women's event. It was something crazy. I mean, he beat women in this event, and they disqualified. Didn't they end up disqualifying him? And we should get into this tomorrow. I'd planned on doing it today, but time just flew on by. When we are in the alternate universe that you have to go to court to prevent a man from competing in women's events, And it just keeps getting stranger and stranger. We'll cover that tomorrow. And again, I want to thank everybody who has been a part of the Newsmax audience today. We got through this first whole hour, this first show.
Yeah, and we'll be back tomorrow.
And we didn't get sued. We didn't get knocked off the
Not
air.
Yet. Not yet.
Right, that's true. It takes a little while for the lawsuit to come through. But we are going to be in for Chris Salcedo all of this week, filling in for him over on Newsmax. So to the Newsmax audience, appreciate you tolerating us all this week. Or you don't have to, either way. But we're going to have some fun doing it. We'll see you tomorrow. This, in the meantime, is your Daily Mojo for Chris Salcedo on Newsmax TV.
Shame.
Now, am I in or am I? I'm in. I'm in.
You're in.
See, I was.
I just needed to make sure that timing was good.
I got you. That way, I wasn't going to drop like an F-bomb or something. That would have been embarrassing.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Very embarrassing. Yeah, continuing on this, the powerlifting story. At some point, we're going to have to defend the biology and stand on women being a protected class. See, that's where. I thought, wait a minute, I thought women already were a protected class. And it might as well start in Minnesota. This is according to Larry Mail, the USA powerlifting president. Policy's not new, but the Federation commissioned a group of experts to find out if it's backed by science after the dispute with Cooper thrust them into the media spotlight late last year. Results were clear. It's unfair to allow biological men to compete with women. Well, duh. A Minnesota legal nonprofit, Gender Justice, filed the complaint with the Minnesota Department of Human Rights late last week on behalf of Cooper, asserting the policy illegally discriminates against people on the basis of gender identity. Here's the thing. We've got to figure out a way to make this work in our advantage. I mean, if we can make some money doing this, you and I are in the wrong business. You got to think of a way. There's got to be some cash we can take advantage of these draconian policies that don't allow men to compete with women. We've got to somehow turn this around to our benefit. I'm not sure exactly how. It's still forming in my brain. But at some point, if I can figure out how to make $1 million putting on a dress, maybe, high heels, I don't know.
Somebody's going to give you money for that, Brad.
Everybody's got a price. We'll see what ours is. Daily Mojo.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Iran is signaling its plan to abandon key parts of its nuclear deal with world powers. Tehran says within 2 weeks it will break the uranium stockpile limit set by the nuclear accord. The Islamic Republic also warns it could step up uranium enrichment to 20%, just shy of weapons-grade levels. The announcement putting more pressure on Europe to come up with new terms for the 2015 nuclear deal. The United States accuses Iran of a series of attacks on oil tankers in the Persian Gulf region. Secretary of State Pompeo says the evidence, including video evidence, makes clear that Tehran carried out the attacks. Pompeo says he's been working toward a diplomatic solution.
President Trump has done everything he can to avoid war. We don't want war. We've done what we can to deter this. The Iranians should understand very clearly that we will continue to take actions that deter Iran from engaging this kind of behavior. I made a number of calls to my colleagues around the world yesterday. I am confident we will have partners that understand this threat.
Pompeo on Fox News Sunday. Following a deal hammered out by President Trump, Mexican authorities have started boosting enforcement efforts along routes used by many illegal immigrants heading north toward the U.S.
Mexico plans to send 6,000 National Guard troops to its border with Guatemala by tomorrow. Over the weekend, Mexican authorities were busy along routes migrants often use in southern Mexico, checking IDs, pulling migrants off public transportation, and stopping 4 trucks packed with nearly 800 migrants. The National Migration Institute says 1,000 immigration agents have already been dispatched to the country's north and south borders as Mexico faces increased pressure by the United States to slow the surge of mostly Central American migrants through its territory. I'm Matt Small.
On Wall Street this hour, Dow futures are down 21 points, while NASDAQ futures are up 14 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew 25 Ministries. Matthew 25 Ministries is one of the few charities I'll actually endorse because I know them. I've worked with them, and I know almost all of the money that you donate goes to help people. Go to m25m.org. m25m.org.
Radio's so good it will knock you out of your seat. Uncommon Sense with Bill and Jen, Monday through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Mojo 50.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
This is the Mojo 50 Institute for the Advanced Application of Freedom. Ya bitches.
The mothership has landed.
Just reading a tweet here from DFW Scanner here in Dallas saying shots have been fired during a police incident at the Federal Building in downtown Dallas. Don't know what that's all about, but we'll keep you posted and let you know if anything is happening here in Dallas. It is newsworthy. In the meantime, across the pond, this is what they were hearing last night, apparently. This was the first of two shows of...
I love me some Fleetwood Mac.
Well, I do too, but they're saying that some of the ticket holders there were asking for a refund.
Was the show that bad?
Well, they said certain parts of Wembley Stadium fans praised the amazing and unbelievable show, while in other parts it was described as unbearable.
I would think that the sound is crazy in a place like that.
Yeah, it's always tough to, because I'm not familiar with Wembley Stadium, but I would imagine that it's not set up, I wouldn't think, to be a concert venue.
No.
So
the sound was probably echoing all over the damn building, and if you were sitting in certain spots, it probably sounded just garbled.
Yeah, I see, without Lindsey Buckingham, and I don't know what happened.
It's not really Fleetwood Mac then. You got Fleetwood.
Yeah. You got Fleetwood, you got John McVie, you have Christine McVie.
Christine, yeah.
And Stevie Nicks. And then the guys from, I think one of them from Petty's band, and can't remember the other one. But I mean, it's amazing still after all these years that they can sing it all. And the fact that they, when I saw them, man, back in the 90s, they were smart. They didn't try to hit the high notes themselves. They had the backup singers hit the high notes. See, when you reach a certain part in your musical career, you have the money to hire the people to do the hard stuff. You have somebody else do the heavy lifting.
You just sing the lower octave.
You just,
let them get the high notes.
And clap a lot and play the tambourine in the case of Stevie Nicks. But they were, boy, for their time. Woof. And I'm still sorry I never got to see ABBA. But that's just me. Is that Dwarf Clone?
Dwarf Clone.
On the phone. Dwarf Clone, how are you?
Doing well.
you were talking about those polls earlier showing Trump behind.
Yes.
Okay, well, polls 18 months out from an election are as reliable as last week's horoscope and as genuine as a $3 Rolex.
That's true.
The whole point of these polls is not to reflect public opinion, but to shape it.
Mm-hmm.
They want to put the idea out there that Trump will lose to anybody.
Here's the problem, and this goes back to something that at the other place, Caleb Parker, who is a political wunderkind, if I do say so myself. This kid, he has he's kind of like he's the Svengali of politics. He remembers facts and figures from stuff that he studied in college. And something he said to me one evening during the campaign or during the election, the last election, was Donald Trump has blown out all of the rules that ever existed for following politics. He has broken every rule. He has upset every apple cart. And what we can't do going forward is rely on old information, on the old way of doing things. And that's what they still are trying to do. They're still trying to use these polls to influence public opinion, when the bottom line is the supporters of President Donald Trump are not going to be swayed by these polls.
No, nobody's going to be swayed by the polls.
Right.
The whole idea is to try and put it out there for the ones that aren't paying attention, the ones that haven't made any decision, the new voters.
Sure.
They're the ones that they're trying to influence. And really, with the lack of credibility by their own hands, I doubt that it's going to do much good.
Oh, of course it won't. It's a joke, and they're also forgetting one of the things that they are. If they're going to play by that rule, they also have to remember that when you start saying that your guy is so comfortably in the lead, the voters tend to say, "Well, if he's already got it, I don't need to go out and vote." So if that's what they're doing, if in fact they are swaying the middle, then what they're going to do with their base is make them lazy and make them stay home. So it's kind of, they got to take the bad with the good. So you and I both know, barring some weird catastrophic, and who knows, again, like you said, 18 months out, you never know what's going to happen between now and then. But barring something bizarre, catastrophic, nuclear, etc., Donald Trump's going to get reelected to the presidency.
Oh, yeah, we're going to see a lot of screaming at the sky.
Oh, yes. Yeah, exactly. Which, you know what? Here's the beauty of it. We will be entertained.
That's because they didn't learn the last damn time to not scream at the sky, so they'll do it again.
There you go.
And they're still fighting last election.
There you go.
They absolutely are. And by the way, I own a $3 Rolex. Appreciate it.
All right,
Have a good one, guys.
All right,
See you, buddy.
Thanks. Dwarf Clone was just trying to prove that the Newsmax audience wasn't smarter than the Jackhole Nation. See, the Jackhole Nation was like, oh, their girlfriend, that girl, she's kind of.
That's what it was.
She's kind of hot. Hey, I'm pretty. Wait, I'm going to go out and buy a new dress. Hang on. And Jackhole Nation went out and bought a new dress. Let me just be honest with you. The Newsmax audience means nothing to me. I mean, it was a fling. It was a nooner quickie.
All week long.
All week long. You just sit there. And you watch. You just watch. That's all I'm saying. Something else that is happening. This is the report from CBS.
Trump said today he's seen the evidence, and it points to Iran in attacks that disabled 2 tankers yesterday in the Gulf of Oman. Iran denies it, and some other countries aren't sure. The attacks have ratcheted up tensions. Oil prices have jumped, and shipping companies are paying higher insurance premiums.
All right, can somebody explain this to me? Why would Iran, who back in April said that they would do what they could to disrupt the oil trade route in that area, why would they, if in fact they are behind these attacks on these tankers, why would they come out and deny it? I must be missing something in this whole equation.
Well, you would think that if they were up to it, that they'd do it in a heartbeat and say, yeah,
they said they said they wanted to do it. So if they did it, now why are they saying we didn't do it? Which, strangely, I'm kind of in. I don't understand why they wouldn't. If they did in fact do this, why wouldn't they claim responsibility for it? What's the reason? Unless I'm missing something here. And I may be. I don't see where Iran benefits from denying it. If they are trying to disrupt the trade route, if they're trying to cause disruption in the oil industry, okay. Whoever did this kind of accomplished that, but I don't understand why they would deny it. I'm not saying they didn't do it because I have no idea. I think that and it sounds
because Trump was going to go over there and thump them.
Okay, but
if the deterrence is that they're going to get pounded because they said they did it, they weren't messing with a U.S. ship, right?
Well, they're also saying that, by the same token, they are saying that they are going to they will breach the uranium limit in, let's see, today's 17th, 10 days. Announced will breach on 27th of June the limit on its stockpile of enriched uranium that was set under the 2015 nuclear deal with world powers. Of course, I think the United States pulled out of that. But I don't get it. They would have known that there was going to be retaliation when they did it. Something just doesn't add up here, and I don't know what it is. I'm not that smart. I'm hoping one of you is, because I do not get why they would deny bombing these two ships. Actually, there have been a total of 6 ships in that area that have been torpedoed or damaged or attacked in some way. He says this latest development comes at a time of high tension in the Middle East. The U.S. accusing Iran of being behind suspected attacks. They left 2 oil tankers ablaze Thursday. Iran has denied any involvement. In early May, Iran signaled its intention to break out some of the constraints imposed by the nuclear deal. On Monday, it repeated that threat, adding that the rate of enrichment was being stepped up and that it expected to break the limit on the amount of low enriched uranium it can hold before the end of the month. Well, James is on the phone right now, and maybe James is a smarter guy than I am. James, how are you, sir?
I'm doing ducky so far.
Well, so do you have? Am I missing something in this situation that's unfolding over there?
Well, the only thing I wanted to say was I think the only reason that they're denying it is because they fear military action, not only by the U.S. but by other countries.
So why would they have back in April said that they were going to do this? They pledged to disrupt the trade routes the tankers took. So if they had pledged to do it, why is following up on that pledge? Why do they feel like that's worse than pledging to do it in the first place?
Well, they pledged to do it to make a threat.
Mm-hmm.
But to actually take responsibility of doing it is a different thing than making a threat.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I just see there's something funny about this, and I don't know what it is. I just feel my spidey sense is tingling. There's something going on here, and I know that sounds conspiratorial, but.
Do you think they did it, Brad?
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean,
okay. I was just curious.
It's awfully convenient that we have the footage of their boat going up next to the tanker and either removing that mine or installing it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it very much is.
Well, what I find ironic is that the Japanese said that they didn't do it.
Right.
Why would the Japanese say that?
Yeah.
What would force them to say that?
Yeah, I didn't hear that. The Japanese said they didn't do that. Yeah. But the thing of it is, if they admitted to it, the Egyptians would be, you know what I mean? They'd be all over it,
right?
And there'd be many countries, Arab countries, that would be all over it, And if they admitted to it, there'd be countries all over the world that would be all over them, And I think they would threaten it and not take credit for it. Like Boca Raton will take credits for their actions because they don't care.
Right. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are absolutely a terrorist organization that will claim responsibility for the most heinous of acts. James, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. I think this. I could hear the doubt in James's voice. I think that there's something more to this than meets the eye, and I have no idea what it is.
Well, there's no question there's more to it, Brad. I mean, ultimately, they threatened it. Did they do it? We don't know. We assume that they did, or we're claiming that they did. The Japanese are claiming that they didn't. As a matter of fact, the Japanese came out and said it wasn't a below sea level attack. It was something, a flying object.
Well, yeah, they said it came from up above.
Yeah.
And then we had, again, the footage of that little boat, the little dinghy or whatever it
Pulling
was.
that supposed mine off the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was an Iranian boat. I think we know that, right?
Do we? It was grainy footage. I guess so, maybe. It's just, this is kind of like the Jussie Smollett thing.
Yeah, it is.
When it happened, it was like, something's not quite right here. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't have all the information, so it's impossible to decipher exactly what's happening. But I just think that we are going to find out more moving forward that may or may not make things any clearer, if that makes any sense. Guess who joined, by the way? Guess who joined Twitter in the last week?
Who?
Hello, Twitter world. This is yours truly.
Oh, my
God.
God.
This is my first venture into the social media world, and it's amazing.
May I make a prediction? He is going to rue the day that he joined Twitter, number one.
Oh, he is going to be crucified, but he'll have 1 million followers in about an hour.
I don't know how many he has. I'll check that in a second.
Well, he probably had a lot to begin with.
No, he just joined.
He just joined Twitter.
He just joined. So, and this was
Twitter around when he went to jail? Probably not.
No, he's been in jail for 10 years. So no, it wasn't. It wasn't around, and it certainly wasn't around back when he was not there when his wife and her friend were murdered. But this was his first use, apparently, of the Twitter platform.
Especially how quickly they could put up counterfeit sites. Anyway, we'll deal with that. My life has always been involved in the sports world, and I suspect as the weeks goes on.
Knife wielding, sporting knife wielding. I think he's proven himself adept at, man, that can.
Brad, he was not guilty of that.
No, well, he was civilly guilty of it.
He put the tight glove on.
Yeah, sure.
It didn't fit.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we'll be talking about. But once in a while, I'm going to go off topic and talk about something else. And this is one of those times,
I mean, he's the same guy that wrote a book called If I Did It.
I've got something for you to talk about there, OJ. He won't do it.
No.
Bob Kardashian, he's like a brother to me. He's a great guy. He met and married Chris, and they really had a terrific.
Remember, this again is his first, I guess, use of
time together when they were together. Unfortunately, that ended. But never, and I want to stress, never in any way, shape, or form had I ever had any interest in Chris.
Wow. Did he just call her ugly? Did he just call Kris Jenner ugly?
No, I didn't call her ugly.
I
but
never had any interest in her.
Was there someone claiming that he was wanting to get with Chris?
You haven't heard the rumors, have you?
No, have you?
Oh, yeah, I've heard the rumors.
No, you have
Yes,
not.
I have heard the rumors.
Romantically, sexually, and I never got any indication that she had any interest in me. So all of these stories are just bogus, bad.
The story to which he refers is the rumor that he is, in fact, Khloe Kardashian's dad.
No way.
All I'm going to say is if you look at pictures of the three of them together and you look at Khloe's facial structure,
there's no way.
Draw your own conclusions.
Do you? What do you think?
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
Doesn't matter what I think, does it? My job is just to bring the information to you and watch you drill over.
She's the youngest, right?
She was the fattest at one point, but I'm not sure if she's the youngest.
I don't think she's the youngest. There's two younger.
Yeah,
Kendall
the
and
Jenners.
the Jenners.
This is the Kardashian side of things.
The youngest Kardashian.
Mm-hmm. She's lost a little weight, changed her hairstyle, and I don't know.
Nah.
I'm just saying.
No, I think that's probably somebody just starting a rumor.
No, this rumor's been around for a while.
Yeah.
And whether it's true or not is neither here nor there. The real thing that struck me is this being O.J. Simpson's very first use of the Twitter. By the way, in his...
How many has he got?
635.
635,000 followers.
He is following
But you know what he doesn't have, Brad? He does not have a blue check mark.
Doesn't have a soul either, but there's that. He's following 8 different accounts. OJ is following the PGA Tour. Remember, he is determined. He is bound to find the real killer, and he is searching on every golf course possible. He's following the Buffalo Bills. He's following Tim Graham. I don't know how I would feel about OJ following me. I don't know who Tim Graham is. I guess he's a sports guy. He's following USC football. He's following Justin Simpson, who I guess, is that his son? Oh. And he's following Malcolm Laverne.
I think it is.
Malcolm Laverne is, I guess it was his attorney.
Abogado.
Because there is a picture of his Twitter profile, or whatever you call the banner picture at the top, is, I think, of him and OJ in the courtroom. So
it looks like he's an attorney in New York.
Yeah.
So New York and Texas. It says New York, Texas, and Nevada. Yeah.
So I think he was OJ's. So OJ's tweeted 3 times now. He's and the reason I say I think he's going to rue the day. Well, thanks to all my new. Wow. Okay, I just got to hear what he's got to say here, just because.
With no accountability. But now.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did OJ Simpson just say no accountability? Damn.
Kind of ironic.
World, for years, people have been able to say whatever they want to say about me with no accountability. But now I get to challenge a lot of that BS and set the record straight.
There is that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether anybody believes this challenge or not.
Right, yes. He does.
Able to talk about everything, especially sports, fantasy football, and even politics. But for now, let me just say to my fellow fathers out there, happy Father's Day, and God bless.
And to my kids, sorry about your mom.
Ooh.
Oh, there's that.
Wow.
There's that.
You seem to be harboring a little bit of a OJ grudge there, Brad.
I'm not harboring any grudge. I just think that the guy absolutely dodged 2 bullets. I think that had there not been the critical mistakes made by the prosecution, it was like that trial was like it was like a little league baseball team going up against a major league team. That's all.
Yeah, I can see that.
There were so many mistakes made.
I find it humorous. Don't get me wrong. I find it humorous that this guy did not go to jail for killing his estranged wife and her boyfriend or whatever the case may be. But he did go to jail for holding it was a gunpoint, right? When he went back in to get all of his stuff that was stolen?
Yes. He was stealing the stuff.
That's what's going to happen to you.
Stealing his own stuff back. Strangely, the guy who he stole from at I think it was Palace Station in Vegas, said that he appealed to the parole board to get him released.
Who, the guy he held out?
Uh-huh.
I mean, what?
I know. Weird, right?
Wow.
Yeah. He's got. There's no doubt about it. OJ is charismatic.
Yes.
OJ has it. Whatever it is, he has it. You look at him, and he is a. He's compelling to look at. Now,
not a lot of the younger generation remembers him from his commercials or football days. You remember him running through the airport?
Oh yeah, Hurts.
Yep.
And didn't he do something for orange juice? Because who was it just tweeted?
That would make sense.
Who was that? Larky Farkin? Yeah, Larky F and Farkin. Question is, does OJ follow Tropicana's Twitter account? Yeah, he did. Yeah, because he did. I think the orange juice thing. But the issue that he's going to face is that his ego is such. Because remember, when you get away with what he got away with, I mean, let's not forget the book If I Did It.
Yeah.
Please.
Where he outlines basically, if I had done it, here's the way I would have done it.
What a-hole. When you literally get away with murder, it has to inflate. When you start with an ego the size of his, it has to inflate it to monumental proportions. it will be his downfall. He will at some
Eventually,
point.
yeah.
He will tweet something. He will say something. He's never, remember, up until this point,
well, there's at least 635,000 people out there waiting for him to step on his thing.
And I just have a sneaky feeling that he will do just that, because that's what Twitter tends to make people do. Something will trigger him because he obviously has a temper.
That's correct.
Something will trigger him, and you watch. Something's going to get him. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. If you have not yet been to Combat Flip Flops, please stop by there, combatflipflops.com. It's really not about the flip-flops. It's about the mission. I mean, sure, they sell flip-flops there, and you can buy a pair of flip-flops, and the action or the reaction to your action of buying those flip-flops is that they, in turn, will educate an Afghan woman. They've taken an old boot factory, literally an army boot factory in Afghanistan. They've turned it over and created this factory to employ locals to to make these flip-flops. They have things like the men's AK-47, the Flopperator Coyote. I think, is it the Flopperator? No, I guess that's not sold out. I just have my mouse over it. When you buy these, it would, again, made in a former boot factory, an army boot factory. They take a portion of the proceeds. They pay for the education of an Afghan woman.
Peace through education.
It's amazing. It's such a simple concept. These guys wanted to do something for the world. They've seen the horrific side of humanity. They've seen what happens in a war zone, and they want to do something basically to offset it. And that's what it's all about. So if you need some flip-flops this summer, if you need some shoes, anything else, just go to Combat Flip-Flops, promo code Mojo50, and get something.
It's Mojo25.
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 I knew it was one of those.
Yes, sir.
Do something good for the world. This is your Daily Mojo.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. Mojo 50.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill with a tough topic, abortion. Now the left is finally letting us know what they're really thinking. Abortion is all about a worker going on strike, a gestational worker.
And I wonder if we could think about defending abortion as a right to stop doing gestational work.
So mothers aren't mothers, they're gestational workers. That's from Sophie Lewis. She's a writer who's very pro-abortion and even admits that it's killing.
Abortion is, in my opinion, a form of killing. It is a form of killing that we need to be able to defend.
Lewis rationalizes and defends the killing because, after all, the fetus is inflicting violence on the mother.
Helps me think about the violence that innocently a fetus meets out vis-a-vis a gestator. And that violence is an unacceptable violence for someone who doesn't want to do gestational work.
So we recognize abortion is killing, but it's killing because someone doesn't want to do gestational work. It's just kind of like a really violent strike, right?
The violence that gestator meets out to essentially go on strike or exit that workplace is unacceptable violence.
Acceptable violence because you want to exit the workplace that we used to call motherhood. God help us. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MojoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MojoWildRice.com. MojoWildRice.com.
The Daily Mojo.
Get your tweets in, again, using the hashtag What I Learned Today, Whiskey6. All of it, Real Brad Staggs talking of OJ may just be what triggers OJ. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. He may be listening. I don't know. Smacking Duck says, when you get away with what he got away with, what, are you suggesting that he killed those two people? You cause radio hosts to bore the hell out of your audience talking about you for hours. See?
Was that Smacking Duck?
Yeah, of course it was.
Of course.
Apparently he's sober this morning. I don't know. I think Gloria Vanderbilt just died. She was 95 years old. I thought she was already dead. By the way, that's Anderson Cooper's mom. Right?
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Well, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
you know, I guess I remember that.
Yeah.
That's the Mandela effect, by the way.
Yes,
My daughter taught me that.
Yes, the Mandela effect. If you aren't familiar with that, take a look at it because it is weird. Does Kit Kat have a dash in it? Does Kmart have a dash in it? Don't know. Zig the Jackhole Gator. I absolutely followed him just to get inside the mind of a murderer. Let me know what he's gonna, like I said, I think he's going to slip up somehow. But when and where, that remains to be seen. But somebody with that ego, I guarantee at some point. A man in Florida has seen Avengers Endgame more than twice. He is aiming for the Guinness Book of World Records. Wow. Augustin Alanis says he's 30 years old. He has been going to see the movie, which is over 3 hours long, up to 5 times each weekend. He has seen it so far 114 times. He aims to see it more than 200 times before it leaves theaters. He's hoping to capture Guinness Book of World Records for the record number of times. The Marvel fan said he surpassed the previous record for most cinematic productions attended. Same film.
Did the Marvel fans also say, this dude has no life?
I haven't seen it yet.
He has no life.
Well,
the dude's spending, 15 hours a weekend?
Uh-huh. If it's 3 hours.
Oh, my God.
Up to 15 hours a weekend. That's only
the
8 hours a day.
theater loves that dude.
But is he paying for it every time?
He may not be, but if he's eating popcorn and drinking sodas, he's paying for it.
Or is the theater letting him do it because they're getting publicity?
Maybe. Did you say their name?
Nope. So if that's the reason, might be a fail on their part.
Here's the thing about show hosts. When they realize that someone's doing something to get their name out there, they typically don't say the name.
Well, there's sometimes. Sometimes. I don't know. It all depends on what it is. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't.
I guess.
It all depends. I was looking for something else here. Where did that go? Is it there's another record being broken? I've never wanted to break a Guinness record. Have you? I can't think of anything I'd want to do that.
Some of them are the dumbest ass records that there can be. And do I want to be known for how many boogers I pull out of my nose? Right. I mean, that's a dumb, holy crap.
And there's no money that comes with it either. So all it is like,
you just get a plaque, don't you?
Do you even get that? You probably have to pay for it.
No, I think you get a plaque, but then do they put you in the book?
Technically, I guess there isn't a book now, is there? I mean, it's a
I
website.
Don't know. Guinness Book of World. Well, maybe it is just a website now,
so you get listed somewhere, and I guess it's just bragging rights.
What record would you break, Brad?
There's nothing I want to do that would nothing. I can't think of one. One thing, yeah. Other than that, I can't think of one thing I want to do.
I'm pretty sure that record's not in the book.
Nah. And besides, that sounds exhausting. A Greek chef, Akis Petreskis, he set our Guinness Book of World Record when he brewed up or grilled up over 3,000 burgers in the space of an hour. 3,378. Okay, but this is cheating. He didn't do it by himself. He and his team assembled.
I think it'd be pretty close to impossible to do that by yourself.
Well, then what kind of a record is it when you've just, that's...
Now, if he was to make a large burger with like 4 cows worth of meat in it, that would be different. But then he couldn't do it by himself. He wouldn't be able to flip that joker over.
Oh. And so the Guinness representative was on hand to verify that the chef had broken the previous record for the most burgers made within an hour, which was 2,200. The burgers were then distributed to spectators free of charge. And again, I don't know. So you know what that is?
It's all about promotion.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's so when you are a chef and you've got a cooking brand, you come out with a new line of pans, and it becomes the pans. What sets you apart from the other pans is that you have broken the record for the most hamburgers ever cooked. Even though you didn't do it, you had a team of people doing it. So that's
I guarantee you he's selling something.
Well, and when this happens, do you have to pay the Guinness Book to show up at your event? They don't just show you. I mean, you don't just invite them and they show up. I guarantee you that.
That's a great question.
I'll bet you end up paying them to show up, and then if you don't do it, you wasted your money.
They've got to have a revenue model somehow.
Under our don't throw me in the briar patch, please. Bella Thorne. She's a model, right?
I think so.
She is, well, somebody apparently got a hold of a text string that she had on her phone where she had sent somebody some naked selfies. She's on the Disney show Shake It Up. I can't believe I didn't remember that. I mean, I get home every day and just watch. Is that on Disney Channel?
I don't know.
I don't either. She posted screenshots of messages from an anonymous person sending the actress her own topless selfies because somebody apparently hacked into her texts and was able to get these topless selfies. And they sent her a text and said, "Here, yo, Bella, got all the videos." And they apparently were trying to extort her. They were going to leak the topless videos and the pictures of her, unless I don't know if she was going to, they wanted money. They wanted something. But she thought, aha, here's what I'm going to do. And she released the topless selfies
Boom.
herself.
That's what I was about to say.
Yep.
You release them yourself. Mm-hmm. It's all a big ploy. It was all a big Kim Kardashian thing. Now Bella Thorne's going to blow up because she's got booby pics out there.
And
that's what happens when you become, wow. Am I going to show that?
That's up to you. I don't care. But that looks painful. I've never understood having a pierced one of those.
Ouch.
Wow. Or is that the same?
The one on the left is not bad. I can show that one, but you can't get over far enough. Oh, yeah, you can.
Sure, I can. Well, you can kind of see some stuff there. Again, in this country, we are hung up on the female breast. I mean, why wouldn't you be? Remember, that's what got us. Well, they just buried us over at AVN. I'm telling you, if they didn't like them,
what is her handle? Bitch, I'm Bella Thorne.
There you go. If they didn't like the Vietnamese milk melon, they're going to hate these.
Oh, yeah. She's pretty straightforward in her comment there, too.
Yes.
F you and the power you think you have over me. I'm going to write about this in my next book.
Good for her.
Yeah, and I'm telling you. Look, okay, so you don't take naked pictures of yourself and keep them on your phone as a celebrity and think, Brad, like your pictures, and think that somebody's going to hold something over you. You do this for a reason. You do it for a reason, and that is to get yourself back known in the public eye again. If I did it,
it worked.
Nobody would go into my phone and go, "Oh my God, let's show these pictures."
You have naked pictures of yourself?
Oh, no. No, I don't have naked pictures of myself.
Why not? You want to buy some? See? Why? I mean, come on. What? You can admit, you can tell me that you don't have any naked pictures. Seriously?
No, none? I do not. No.
None at all?
No, I'm a lot smarter than that.
Really? Okay.
I don't take naked pictures of my family. I don't take
naked pictures. Well, that's comforting news. I don't take naked pictures of my family. Okay, that just sounded a little creepy. But that's good to know.
I meant my spouse. You know what I meant.
Want to buy some?
No.
Yeah, when you hack into somebody's phone, the scumbag who hacked into her phone and found the naked pic. When you start trying to extort somebody, I mean, that's just.
And nowadays, Brad, they don't even have to hack into a phone. You take a picture, it's auto stored in the cloud.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they just get into the iCloud. Damn it, I got to delete those. I will get right on that.
Yeah, if you're not thinking about where your picture's going every time you snap a photo, and I promise you people are not.
No,
they're available.
Yeah,
come on, Apple's got them.
It's out there.
Wouldn't surprise me for Apple to have sold them to somebody.
And the internet is for
not saying they did, Apple. Not saying you did it.
But they probably did. Most likely they did. If you have, let's see, and we started this program on what, Friday?
Friday, yeah.
And so if you go to the Mojo 50 website and you go all the
You can
way
click
over,
on shop. Yep.
so
And the
mojo50.com, you hit enter, it takes you to the website, and the website loads, and you go over to shop.
Correct.
You click on shop, and then if you scroll down just a little bit, you will see CBD extract / supplements, and you click on that. And that's what all the fuss is about. This is stirring up some interest. We've sold several of these already.
Yeah.
And the thing about CBDs is it's kind of like gut health. We are at the very beginning of something amazing. CBDs are I really believe, going to end up like being the cure for cancer. Something strange. And we don't make any medical claims about these. Here's the deal. Dr. Ken Brown, who is the genius, or one of the geniuses, the genii behind Atrantil, lovemytummy.com. He's a board-certified gastroenterologist and an internal medicine doctor. He has a background in clinical research. He discovered CBDs years ago. Well, he didn't discover them. He was studying them. And his company has put together the CBD oil. And CBD these oils can be, they deal with inflammation. I've heard, if you just do a little bit of research, you will find that CBD oils are, I don't want to call them a panacea because nothing is a panacea, but these things
are likely to cure cancer. Honestly,
it's amazing what they will do.
We're not saying that it does, folks. No. We're just saying likely.
However, if you've been researching CBD oils and you've been wondering how do you know which one to buy, here's the reason I would suggest you take a look at these at the Mojo 50 website, is because we know Dr. Ken and we know his reputation. We know him personally, and you tend to buy things from people that you trust. And that's the reason we went into this partnership with him on these. So at least take a look at them, do some research, and again, don't take my word for anything. Do research, try these.
We can get you a discount though on these.
I get a discount?
Yeah, if you use the code Mojo50 at checkout, we'll get you $15 off of that price.
That's a great deal. That is a great deal.
That's actually a good deal because, quite honestly, the price that's shown right there right now, it's $89.99 for the bottle.
Yep.
Is actually lower than you can find it in most places for the same amount. And then you get our $15 discount by using the Mojo 50 at checkout.
When this becomes mainstream, and again, there's still controversy, a lot of misinformation swirling around the hemp / CBD / marijuana / we're in a new time. We are the 2019. We are entering a new age. I never thought that I'd be. I didn't spend a whole lot of time fretting over it, but I never thought I would be alive during the time where marijuana is probably going to become as common as alcohol. Now, so you're going to have people.
That we've already got half the states.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have people coming on both sides of the fence. It's evil, it's bad, it's good, it's great. It's same thing with alcohol. And it's just we're entering a new this is the new millennium. It's the new reality. So if you take advantage of some of the positives that come out of this, and especially with regard to CBDs, I think that you're going to find that these are going to be at the forefront. And here's the thing: remember, when something gets popular and they decide that it works, watch out for the FDA, because they will jump in there at a heartbeat, and suddenly you're going to see the big pharmaceutical companies start to they will take notice. I'm sure that they already have. So there's going to be the politics involved in it. But again, if you are in the market for CBDs, take a look at these. They're at mojo50.com, and then click on shop, and then take a look at it. And remember, use the promo code Mojo50 for $15 off the price right there. Mojo Jedi just tweeted, let's see, this is a picture of, this cannot be real. The retweeted the picture from Kobe J. Three Fingers Ascot, maybe one of the funniest pictures ever. That is not real. George Stephanopoulos is not that sort.
No, not at all.
Okay. But that's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny.
He's like, he looks like their kid. He looks like Melania and President Trump's child. Larky F. and Farkin, Ron's pics are of him pooping, though. The ones that you have on your phone? The ones in your locked photo folder?
Yes. Yeah. Well, look, I do have a couple of pictures of me on the throne. You don't see anything, but sometimes I like to send them to my kids or my wife and say, "What's happening?" Look, if you want to get a laugh at a family reunion, send them a pic of you sitting on the toilet. Hey, I'm busy in here.
Wow.
Stop calling my name.
Oh. Can a man not get some privacy? Oh, wow. That's more information.
I see what you're doing there.
That's more information. I'm just trying to think of the line. But, okay, here's the other thing. When you're sitting in here, at the end of the program, when we do what I learned today, it's hard to come up with this stuff.
Until I throw one in your lap.
And Doc would always lean over to me and go, "Hey, did you learn something? What I learned about that?
Give me something I can learn today."
It's like, I don't know. And then when you're sitting in here all by yourself, it gets even harder.
I know what pics I'm going to send you from now on.
Oh, Lord. I don't know if I want to see those.
Oh, good. Oh, my God. Dominic, you got to send that to Brad.
Does he? Does he really? I don't know.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Speaking of Ron on the throne, for 8 years now, Carnival Cruise Line ships have... well, if you've ever been on a cruise ship and you wonder what happens when you flush the toilet.
I got another one, by the way. Now they're all flowing in. All these pictures of our host sitting on the toilet.
From Izzo?
Nope, got another one from Rocky Stucci.
Ah. Well, there you go. See, it's nice to have started a trend.
See, I'm not the only one that keeps these on my phone.
Apparently
this
not.
Is brilliant.
Wow.
Brilliant.
They have been convicted, this being Carnival Cruise Lines, they've been convicted of 7 felony charges related to the conspiracy of dumping their waste into the ocean and then lying about it. The company in 2016 agreed to a record fine of $40 million and 5 years probation. Almost immediately, it took its cruise ships back out into the waters and dumped their tanks again, breaking environmental laws. From April 2017 to April of last year, they discharged more than 500,000 gallons of treated sewage, dumped 11,000 gallons of food waste, and burned fuel oil in protected areas 19 times. You ever been on a Carnival cruise ship?
Oh, yeah, a couple of times.
They are like the Tinker Toy of cruise ships.
Oh, they are. Royal Caribbean is a freaking awesome ship.
Yeah, the
Carnival, yeah.
Carnival's the only one I've been on, and it is the...
You're welcome, by the way.
I have to click on it. Oh,
jeez. All you got to do is talk about it, and then the pictures start flowing.
What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with him? And what the hell is that
it
on
was so funny because it was so fast. You know they had these on their phones. They're like, oh, snap, let me just send this.
And what the hell is that on Izzo's vanity in his bathroom? It looks like
It's something girly.
Yeah, no kidding. I thought you were more manly than that. And really, those towels?
Oh, my God.
And that towel holder? Have you no shame?
That's funny.
So anyway, the Carnival Cruise Lines has been once again, I guess, fined the once-in-a-decade opportunity to hold the criminal giant accountable and confront Carnival's executive management. This is according to Stan.Earth. In a run-up to the hearing last week, several residents of the Bahamas and Alaska, where Carnival dumped waste and burned fuel. And that's the thing, when you live in these areas, and because, I mean, it doesn't just sink, I would think. And I'm sure it stinks in a wink. I can keep going. You are you are who gets hurt by this. That when they dump their waste and this stuff washes up on your shores, 500,000 gallons of it. And I would imagine they end up dumping it in probably the same area each time.
Well, I thought they had enough space on the ship to contain it until they got to port where they could
you'd think so.
Pump it out.
You'd think so, but I think probably when they do it in port, they're probably charged, an
exorbitant amount, sure.
A buttload.
There you go.
See? Because, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I get paid the big bucks in here. It's the so you have to wonder what the big ships like the Disney Cruise Lines. I mean, because those things are like floating cities. And where does all that waste go? It has to go somewhere. It's hard to wrap your head around the fact that stuff, although you would think in an ocean as big as ours are, I mean, there's fish pooping in there all the time, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, they take our trash out there and dump it.
Although the rumors of the Pacific garbage island we've never been able to find that. I mean, we've heard the rumors, but we've never been able to see it. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where makes things that make you go because it's awfully odd. You remember? Do I have time? I don't. I don't have time to cover this. We'll do it tomorrow. I have a slightly. There was a cop last week. It was a cop killed here in Texas.
Yeah, there was.
And he was running traffic radar when he was struck and killed by an out of control driver. And I have a slightly different take on it because it ties that back into ticket codes, but we'll get into that tomorrow because it's great. Now Izzo's sending me the pictures.
Oh, don't look at that one. You looked at it.
I didn't look at it yet. I was scrolled past it because I did want to mention the other one that just came in from DFW Scanner 2 minutes ago. There is a active shooter downtown.
Fort Worth or Dallas?
Dallas.
Really? Just recently?
Yeah.
I'll see what I can find.
Yeah, so there's an active shooter situation happening there. Man, the whole world is blowing up. The entire world is blowing up. Over on the Twitter, again, Jill Hollis in Seattle. If Real Ron Phillips doesn't take naked photos of his family at Real Brad Staggs, needs to ask him if he wants to buy. I did ask him if he wants to buy some. See? You have to pay attention. These are the points in the program where you have to pay attention. Also on this, remember this is 25 years ago today that we had the slow speed chase of O.J. Simpson down the freeways of L.A. It was in 1972 on this date. Watergate burglars were arrested. 5 men arrested for breaking into the Democratic National Committee headquarters at the Watergate office hotel complex. Who knew that all of these years later, they would take one of the convicted felons of that entire fiasco,
right,
and try to use him as a pawn in the fiasco known as whatever they're calling this.
I do have live breaking news about this shooting. It says an active shooter was reported in downtown Dallas this morning. The incident happened about 8:50 a.m. Central on Commerce Street. The suspect is in custody. It says a report of a man was taken down by police after he fired shots at the Earl Cabell Federal Building. They're asking people to avoid the area.
Yeah, whenever you start doing anything in a federal building, it makes people really nervous.
Yeah, it does.
Especially if there's a gun involved, because it's there's a lot of crazy people out there. So it doesn't say anyone was killed or injured, does it?
It does not have that yet.
All right.
I think he just shot at the building and they took him into custody, but quite honestly, it doesn't go that far yet.
1775, and I'm just killing time because we've got a couple of seconds here left. Battle of Bunker Hill in 1775. And then the crowning achievement of New York Harbor. This was the day in 1885 she got here in pieces.
That would be the Statue of Liberty.
Yep. She was a gift of friendship from the people of France to the people of America. She arrived here in New York Harbor.
Here's a look at...
Sorry, that would be me. She arrived here in New York Harbor after crossing the Atlantic. 350 individual pieces packed in more than 200 cases. And by the way, if you didn't hear it a couple of weeks ago, came up with the trivia fact, the trivia answer, in that the Liberty Island was basically created. The low spots over there were filled in with all of the dirt from the subway excavation. That's where.
That's what created the island.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's your
sense.
fun fact for today, as we wish the Statue of Liberty sort of a happy birthday, and we welcome O.J. Simpson to Twitter. Welcome to 2019. I think it's time we wrap this thing up.
What do you mean it's let's go?
That is it, ladies and gentlemen. The end of Doc Thompson's Daily Mojo. But as always, before we go, we need to find out what we learned today. We learned out that Newsmax is the Daily Mojo's naughty little new girlfriend. Wearing that tight little skirt and that...
She was fun today. Let's see what she is like tomorrow.
Right? Let's see what the second date holds, because you just never know. I mean, the first date, they dress up real pretty, and they...
So far, they're telling us they'll come back for a second date.
Good,
we'll
right?
See.
Yeah. Well, it's us deciding if we're going to go out with them. We learned that black bear cubs will pay dearly for a snack, and it's all Bob's fault. And we learned
Damn it, Bob.
See, I know. Don't be Bob. Be bear aware. Don't feed the bears. And we learned something about Ron's throne picks that I just couldn't fully form. It just, I just don't have that ability to do that.
Great segue into what I learned today, Brad.
Yes, what in fact did you, real Ron Phillips, learn today?
Never, ever, ever say throne picks on the air when Dominic Izzo is listening, because you get more than what you bargained for.
Yes, you do.
You saw the last one?
Don't,
For the love of God.
Wait a second, did I?
He's like, I'm sorry for the therapy that you're now going to need.
That is part of Izzo. I wonder if Dr.
The dude's
Phil,
not shameless at all, is he?
No, he's not. It's, you know what, though? When you have a penis, it's that easy to hide that it's okay. You don't have to
shave that
worry.
bad boy, brother.
Yeah, use a weed whacker. Do something to that. That's just... If Dr. Phil has any openings, I'd like to schedule about a month of time with him.
Yes, please.
Tackhole Yuki over on the Twitterverse. Let's all hope that OJ gets tired of his own shit and blocks himself. You never know. I doubt it, but again, it'll be...
It's OJ. He's not going to get tired of his own shit.
OJ Simpson on Twitter is going to be much like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in general... goings on in life and politics. It is going to be entertaining and possibly self-incriminating. We'll find out. Stay tuned. ELS Stealth Jackhole, hashtag what I learned today. Coming soon to Mojo 50 Radio, the throne wall of hosts. Damn it, why did I read that out loud? Because now it's already going to happen.
Oh, the images are on their way.
Larkieff and Farkin learn. So what I'm hearing is that Brad and Ron want us to send them all of our throne picks. No, that is not what you heard, dude. That's not what you heard. And Mojo Jedi, what was the waste raw? It said treated, but if I asked you to drink a cup of treated sewage, would that be any better than it certainly would be better than a cup of raw sewage.
Untreated, yeah.
But would you drink the cup of treated sewage? And does that mean it's strained? What does that mean? I don't know. I'm just saying, seems like they could come up with a better way. In the meantime, we will get to those new numbers on procrastination as soon as Doc returns from his Florida vacation. Your Daily Mojo has been today a Ron Phillips production. Although I did see Mike in there. For just a brief second. I think we scared him off. Wherever you go, whatever you do, live by the 5 rules. You got a shot of being right and being happy. Good night, Doc Thompson. Where you say wherever you are.
Wherever you are.
Just like we rehearsed it. More tomorrow. Same time, same channel.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. Mojo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com.